Yeah, that was dope.
Someone just tweeted, Charlie, that Silos was an empty net in the shootout.
Dude, he's so bad. Dude, so I watched the whole Blue Jacket shootout and this one. He's only saved one puck. Their teams are 5-6. Like, dude, they
Dude,
might
but
as well.
he played so well.
I know he's so good. Other than the shootout, dude,
Dude, and Jerry's bad too.
The two Flyers goals that their goalie let up was both awful. Who's your goalie, Duska? What's his name? Today was
Dude,
Arison,
Brazeau
Sam
was
Arison.
sick.
Huh? The other Flyers one is Dan Vladar. Dude,
Yeah.
Brazeau's He's goal was foul. not sick.
Yes, it was.
He missed the puck on the finish.
Let's stick on the replay. I
He
was back in
literally
the old days. I was running and listening to the game on the radio.
no, he missed the puck. He literally missed it. And it just like squiggled through. And then Crosby scored the Perry goal where you just shoot it from behind the net. And then it just goes in.
That's a goal scorer's goal.
I just saw a tweet. Who won the Heisman your freshman year of college? I think it was Bryce Young for us. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the year Kenny was in the he was a finalist.
Yeah.
Your Georgia beat the shit out of Bryce Young.
Never
The year Arch wanted JT Daniels to start for the Georgia Bulls.
forget JT Daniels deserves to start.
My one miss ever. Only
No,
one.
same year.
James
No.
Cook is bad.
No.
That was a take you had. Dude, that is fucking crazy. I never said that.
I'm fairly certain you
used
fairly
to say
certain
that.
that
No.
came exactly out of your mouth.
No,
Those
that
exact
is
words.
literally not true. That is
Oh,
not
yeah.
true. No, I didn't say anything bad about James
Feral
Cook or
hogs.
Zamir White. Like Foley did whenever in front of Zai. He was like, dude, James Cook is so much better than Zamir White. He's so ass. And then Zai was like,
I'm trying to think of other. Oh, Arch. What about the Boston College miss this year?
not my fault. Bill
I'm gonna
O'Brien.
I'm gonna cheer your Boston College Eagles on this week, Arch.
Did y'all have a bye week?
Yeah,
Much needed bye week for the Phoenix. What the hell's going on?
dude. Yeah, we got dude. We have so much pod to get into. So
Yeah, let's go. I have to work.
shut up. I don't care about your real
I'm
job.
still I'm happy we didn't record yesterday because my voice was not there.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, dude. Our flag football game, we got there and the other team forfeited. It was
Didn't show up.
They said that there was like a bunch of older guys in our law school, like 2 and 3Ls, and they said the field conditions were too dangerous for them.
Cowards.
Fucking coward. It was actually
that
the
is-
saddest shit I've ever seen in my
Cowardice
life.
lives in your soul. That's Foley.
Yeah. But yeah, the Colin Foley's, bro.
Fellas, you ready to go? Sam, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, Arch, you ready to go?
Let's rock and roll.
Duska, how we feeling?
Feeling good.
All
Get
right,
it going.
let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 14th episode of the Forward Pass podcast. Today we have a jam-packed show for you guys. We will lead it with Brian Kelly being fired. Then we will work through some of the best games of Week 9, including the Ole Miss beating Oklahoma, BYU beating Iowa State, Alabama barely escaping the buzzsaw that is Cocktober, Memphis getting a massive upset against USF, Texas escaping Stark Vegas, Vandy staying hot against Mizzou, and then Houston putting the dagger into Arizona State's season. Without further ado, let's jump right into the show and begin with the firing of one Brian Kelly. I've got a couple things.
A lot of good things happen to bad people.
Yeah, truly, it's really hard to see somebody that such glowing reviews about as a human being lose their job. It makes you hurt. But Brian Kelly, 34-14 overall record at LSU, not heinous. 19-10 in the SEC. He is out of a job in LSU after a brutal showing at home to Texas A&M. Final score was 49-25, but they got outscored 35-7 in the second half. Do you guys want me to start, or do one of you going to give your thoughts first?
You can go.
All right. I will go. So this whole era was doomed from the very beginning. Part of success is derived from being yourself and cultivating an environment that pushes people to be their very best. In college football is a very demanding sport for coaches, players, Stafford, and it's a really intense environment to be in. And if your heart isn't in it from the get-go, it's really hard to build and sustain success. And we saw this in multiple different ways from Brian Kelly. So the first way being Brian Kelly's opening presser and statements and the basketball game where he's talking in a Southern accent. Why are we doing that? Like, so that just shows from the jump, we're not being who we are. He number two, he was very unwilling to take blame. From the outbursts of anger when asked very reasonable questions by reporters this year, or when cameras are on him on the sideline and he is just chewing out his staff members. And remember, he gets the headset, so he actually hears everything that's happening in the game. So as after everything happens and we're saying, what the fuck are we doing in the headset? Like, you're hearing it. You know what's going on before it happens. Like, you could have pressed the stop button, but not no. So he's positioned himself very well to not take any blame. And then there's also reports from inside the building, and this is from listening to other podcasts and reading articles, that his work ethic did not match the goals that he publicly set forth for the organization. And the staffers complained that he vacationed during the most pivotal weeks of recruiting. His unwillingness to embrace the Louisiana people in the building. He fired multiple beloved figures in the building when he first got his job. So in a college football building, like, whenever you get hired, obviously sometimes you bring in, I don't know, a running backs coach, an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, but a lot of the people, like, say, equipment manager or like turf field specialists, like, they've been there for years, and it's your job to retain those people and then cultivate that relationship with them, because those people love Louisiana State and they make that place what it is, and he did not do that. So all in all, this feels like a dad, go get that ski house type of decision from Brian Kelly, and let me explain. So most people, when they turn 60, a lot of people feel burnt out from their job. Maybe their heart isn't in it as much as they used to be. Priorities change. You want to spend more time with your family. You know, it's a hard job, hard profession. So I understand, like, why he feels that way. But you are also at 60 years old a highly qualified candidate in your said profession. So Brian Kelly, highly qualified candidate in his 60s. It's really hard to say no to $100 million. And, wouldn't it be, you can answer this question for yourself. Wouldn't it be nice to have, a mountain house in Vail to go along with the beach house in Palm Beach? Like, doesn't that sound nice, right? And it's really tough to say no to $100 million. So when the financial reward becomes more motivating than the process of getting better and leading an organization, it's probably a telltale sign that the new adventure isn't going to bear the fruit that you want it to bear. And I think one guy has warped our minds into thinking that greatness exists in 70-year-old men in all different professions, and that is Nick Saban, because he upheld a standard of excellence well into his 70s, but that's simply not the case for most people. LSU, then to finish, we talk about oil and water with Drew Aller and Andy Kolenicki and other situations. LSU and Brian Kelly are no different. Oil and water from the jump. This describes the ending perfectly because it was filled with turmoil, drama, and lack of accountability. And there, my friends, is the Brian Kelly story. Couldn't have happened to a better guy.
I guess I'll start it off. I don't understand. Like, yeah, I know it's been a thing now that since he's gotten fired Sunday and then, like, even Saturday, the whole, like, I understand that he didn't do a great job. I don't understand this narrative that he didn't embrace Louisiana, like, and stuff like that. Like, he didn't. You didn't, like, the same people, I think, in national media that are saying that he didn't do that and criticizing him are the same exact ones a few years ago. And I'm going to call out Josh Pate on this because I think he does a great job in most things he does. On his Sunday show, it kind of went guns ablaze on Brian Kelly. First time you've seen him kind of like lose it on a coach. And he's complaining about the Louisiana bit. He was the exact same one 3 years ago whenever he got hired that said it didn't, and it didn't matter. And the same one 2 years ago with the Boar. I mean, it's working out great at Bama. He's the same one that says it doesn't matter, like, where they're from if they can coach. And I think Brian Kelly could coach at the start. Like, it started great. You won the SEC West in his first season there with Jay Daniels, and you beat Bama on like a crazy 2-point conversion play. You basically peaked at that moment, which is. But I don't get this narrative of he didn't embrace Louisiana. I think he should have gotten fired, but I think it's kind of a lazy take to say he doesn't embrace Louisiana enough when I don't think. Yeah.
Okay, well, obviously Kalen DeBoer is from the Midwest, but don't you think he's done a good job embracing Alabama? Like, you don't have to be from the South to embrace the South. All I'm saying is, like, when you take the Louisiana State job, that's different than coaching at Notre Dame. Like they're just different things, and I don't know. You don't think there's any validity to not embracing, like, dude, Louisiana is a far different place. It's one of the poorest states in America. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not we're not dealing with the same type of humans.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. I think my gripe is people that are now calling it out but embraced it as fine a few years ago. And I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like there's a lot of people that would have been talking out of both sides of their mouth the last 2 days about Kelly. Because I mean, I don't know. I think he just didn't do a good enough job as a coach. I don't think that the whole I mean, because he did horrible hiring choices with his defensive coordinator when he got there. OC left after a year or a year or two. I think it was just bad hires and didn't recruit as well. But I don't think it was. I mean, I guess recruiting could be tied to the Louisiana thing, but I don't think it matters that much that he didn't embrace Louisiana. I just think it matters that he made horrible hiring decisions and kind of sucked at being a coach towards the end of his career there. But that's just all I'm going to say about it. I'll leave it at that because, I mean, he is fired and they're going to be getting a new coach.
Yeah, I mean, Arch, I would back you up in saying I understand the sentiment, and it's easy to use that as a narrative when Kelly gets fired as just another reason that things went wrong. And I'm not saying there's no validity to him not embracing Louisiana, whatever that may look like. But I'd also say that the fact that based off reports, he just wasn't working that hard in important times of the calendar and to the best of his ability, putting his program in a position where they were going to be able to compete for national championships like the expectation is going to be at LSU. I think that's far and away a bigger issue. And if he's chilling in Florida while DeBoer and Lane Kiffin and whatever, name your SEC coaches on the road intensely recruiting and trying to put their program in the best position to win, and then putting all this work into hiring coordinators and assistants that are going to put your program in the best position to win. If you're not doing that at the same level, that's going to be the biggest issue. And last week I talked about how hollow and identityless LSU was despite their supreme talent. And I think that combines with everything we've talked about, and you kind of see the themes are present throughout, from the product on the field to how you see Brian Kelly interact with the media and how you see he's constructed his staff and his roster over the past few years. It looks on the surface like everything's on the up and up and going in the right direction, but then adversity hits and there's challenges, and it's the same old story with him losing his mind on the sideline and screaming in the face of his assistants, trying to deflect all the blame of what's going wrong and not being able to respond to adversity. And I think ultimately that's the biggest issue. Another thing is, since I've been a college football fan, and as I've gotten more and more into this sport over the years, one thing that really rubbed me the wrong way early on, or not even early on, but a few years back when Kelly took the job in the first place at LSU, was the way he left the Notre Dame program. And it's just the reasoning in general behind like thinking it would be easier at LSU to go win a national championship and you leave your players in the middle of bowl game prep. I know that's sort of common among coaches, but it's still something I'll never get behind. And it always rubbed me the wrong way, the way Brian Kelly did it with the basketball game introduction and the fake Southern accent and everything. So um it might be a little rushed, but you kind of had to imagine the writing was on the wall, and a lot of people sort of saw this coming with the way that the team looked, even in games they won this year. So LSU is the type of school, they've built up the cachet and they've achieved so much that they should have the expectation of success and competing for national championships year in and year out. So I don't blame them for seeing the trajectory the program is headed down and seeing that there was a ceiling on Brian Kelly and that he wasn't going to be able to take advantage of what those advantages that you get at LSU are. So I don't blame them for cutting ties when they do, and I'm excited to see what direction they take the hiring process in.
Yeah, kind of going back to what you said, Duska, about them being hollow. I think that has been the issue with Brian Kelly and his entire tenure at LSU. Because I think if you think about these teams and these hot young names that keep popping up in coaching hires, you look at guys like Lane Kiffin. He's built his own brand at Ole Miss. A guy like Kenny Dillingham, like building his own brand at Arizona State, or Marcus Freeman, or even you're starting to see it now with DeBoer, like building up DeBoer's Alabama. It almost felt like Kelly was just clocking into his 9 to 5, and it was just, I'm the head coach of LSU. LSU is just LSU, and that's going to carry me through my tenure here. And I think that all stems out of just overall passion for the job, the game, and the university. So, like, when people are saying he didn't immerse himself, I see that. And I also see them kind of saying, like, there was no passion, it felt like. And there was no Brian Kelly's LSU. It was just LSU. So I think that parlayed with him not getting along with local media members, like you said, for asking reasonable questions, not being a fan favorite, not immersing himself in the community and like giving back and just being this like good figure as the head of LSU football. I think that's why they were quick to pull the trigger because there was no like justification for keeping him around. Like, oh, he's a great guy. Oh, he loves LSU, or the fans love him and he's great at all this. It's just he recruited based on LSU's name. They've been a hollow team for 4 years. They've lacked an identity on the defensive side of the ball for the most part, and they haven't really won that many big games. So I think going forward, it's what's really interesting about this job is the penultimate job right now in college football. It's the number one in the market. So whichever way they go, um, is going to just cause a huge ripple effect throughout college football. I would only the only thing I would say is if they were to take Summerall, I don't think that would cause as much of a ripple effect as if they poached like a Lane and just that would change the trajectory of the entire um, coaching cycle and to just build off that too. Like this is not going to be the last big time job available. Like, you're likely going to see Auburn open, Wisconsin as well. So just something to keep an eye on as we go forward. But I don't know what you guys think. I know it's early. I think their guy is going to be Summerall. Seems like it's going to make the most sense for them. I've seen they're going to throw the bag at Saban, Lane, uh, but I don't know what you guys think about who that next guy might be and who would be the best fit for that team.
Well, quickly, I want to talk about like the three kinds of firings we've seen so far this year, and like throw them into buckets. And the first is like the James Franklin firing, where it's way too early, and he poured his heart and soul, and he completely transformed that program, and that program took on his identity. Um, and it's a shame like the way it ended. And then like the second is like the Billy Napier firing, which is like he really tried. Effort was not the issue, but he just wasn't getting it done. Um, and although the team did kind of take on his persona, like it wasn't a successful operation. And then the third is the Brian Kelly, and this is the most embarrassing one, which is you do find some success, but the foundational elements of a championship are nowhere to be found. Like you were talking about, both you like Duska and Sam, about his lack of work ethic, and you're competing against DeBoer, Lane Kiffin, Kirby Smart, and also, this is such a coveted job. You're getting paid tens of millions of dollars to coach college football, and it's a really hard job, but also what a cool gig you get to have. So it's kind of like a spit in the face to the people who love this profession, like kind of how he handled himself. So that's like the third bucket, and that's what makes this really embarrassing. Now, Sam,
Can I just want to make one more point.
yeah,
And this has kind of been a uh like we're trying to diagnose the reasoning behind why LSU failed under Brian Kelly. I will just say one thing. Brian Kelly, undeniably super successful college football head coach. He's won D2 national championships, he's had success everywhere he's went. And I think there, like you were saying to start this off, there's something to be said about just at this point, he's 64 years old. He's been a head coach in college football for 30 years. Like for some guys, like you at some point you hit a wall and kind of just seems like maybe that's what's happening. And as he continued on and wanted to invest less time and put in less hours, like in a job that was probably the highest stakes of his entire career, like that's the outcome that you was ultimately going to happen regardless of when he got fired and what game it took for them to lose for
Yeah.
it to happen. So I think like there's something to be said, just like he's 64 years old. Like at some point you don't have it anymore and you just hit a wall.
I'm glad you brought that up because yeah, I wouldn't say like the way he left Notre Dame sucked, but like his tenure at Notre Dame was a really successful era, and he was an awesome football coach. So yeah, I thank you for pointing that out. Like this is, if we're diagnosing this, like this is just a matter of like, hey, I'm 60. I don't want to go recruit 17-year-olds in Oregon right now. Like I'd rather just be with my family. Which, more power to you, but you probably shouldn't have the LSU job. Sam, to your credit, have you taken a look at the odds market that Ross Dellinger posted?
Mhm.
It is John Summerall, Joe Brady, Lane Kiffin, James Franklin, Eli Drinkowitz, Jeff Brom. Jimbo Fisher somehow in here before Marcus Freeman, which I found a little weird, but yeah, you're right, Sam. It does look like John Summerall is going to be the next coach.
That's a great hire, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
And
not
that's
going to
just
be the most like flashy hire, but it is. I think it's the right hire.
Something to be said about like being in Louisiana as well. I don't know how you quantify that, but
Seems it's Summerall plus 150, and then Joe Brady's the second best odds. Um, I think Brady would be a risky hire.
that's like the QB savant hire that we've talked about, Duska,
yeah.
many
I'm
times on the
always. I
podcast.
mean, I don't hate that either. That's always. I'm
Oh,
always
another
biased towards that.
another fun one. Urban Meyer and Marcus Freeman have the same odds at 25-1. So Urban Meyer finding his way back into coaching conversations.
There's a distinct chance that someone not even on that odds board ends up getting that job. Like you never. I mean, with the quality of LSU, like you just never know. It could be like I've seen Dan Lanning's name get floated around. I personally, I don't know why you would want to take that job with the competition level in the Big Ten versus the SEC and the infrastructure you already have built at Oregon. But even a name like that, like when the LSU job comes open,
Tough to say no.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I was talking I was talking today at dinner about this, and I think the 6 best jobs in college football are in no order, like Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Texas. Is there any other job
Can you
of
say it
those
again?
6?
Sorry.
Okay, Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Louisiana State, Texas A&M, Texas. Are those the best 6 jobs in America?
I mean, it's hard to say no.
I think I'd have to throw
Yeah,
Oregon probably at 7,
yeah.
Yeah,
but
I was thinking Oregon is outside looking
Florida,
in.
maybe Michigan.
I
true.
feel like those are all a tier
Notre
below,
Dame, USC.
a slight tier below what those
I
other.
also I think the fact that Oregon and Michigan are in the Big Ten is that I mean, for a coach, that's just the reality of the situation is that just makes your job a little easier. Like you get to go and play Northwestern or Rutgers.
Purdue.
Like yeah, Purdue. Those teams are on your schedule every year. And when you coach in the SEC, like you don't ever get a week off. Like we're going to talk about Alabama later. I mean, that's a perfect example of in the SEC, if you bring your B game, you're gonna have to like pull a lot of stuff off to end up getting a win. And like that's just not the reality for most Big Ten
I mean, look at
teams.
like this weekend, Oregon brought their C game, and still like
Exactly.
that cannot fly. And you saw it with Bama last year when they laid an egg at Oklahoma, who was bad.
Hmm.
Like the margin for error in the Big Ten, especially as an elite program, is so much larger that it makes it very like if he wants to build this and become a like I think you have a better chance of winning a national championship at Oregon than you do LSU just based on pure like odds. like as a numbers game.
So yeah, Oregon's gonna they're they're probably not even gonna play in Indianapolis, but they're gonna cakewalk into the college football playoff. Like if you're in the SEC, you're in a dogfight all
I
year.
actually don't know about that statement, Tuska.
They play at Washington. That's it.
They also play USC and Iowa.
Yeah, my point kind of though is
Oh, I
like
didn't realize. What about that?
They could get got. They could get gotten all three of those games
yeah, but my point is like they're gonna be favored
in all of them.
pretty handily against USC and Washington. Maybe not Iowa at this point if it's at Iowa, but like they're gonna be pretty heavily favored against USC and Washington. And like the game script has to go a really specific way for those teams to beat Oregon, and Oregon can win in a lot of different ways against those teams.
No,
Like they
I'm agreeing with you. I agree that it's way easier to get to where you want to go at Oregon than LSU. I'm just saying this year in an Oregon team that we've seen some holes in, they are not like a shoo-in to get to the playoff. I just wanted to like let the public know that there is some games out there that need to be had. That's all I was saying because I
yeah,
agree with everything that you're saying.
I'm saying like in just
A
a
macro,
basic average year,
exactly.
which might change as obviously the revenue structure of the sport is changing and the way players are getting paid and everything and the way schools are investing is changing. So the Big Ten's level compared to the SEC may step up a bit, but I don't think it's going to be that drastically different for a while.
I mean, dude, would you rather go play at Purdue or at Mississippi State? Like,
Yeah. Would you rather go play at Iowa or at like I don't know.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, exactly. Even though Iowa's like they're a tough out for sure on your schedule. It's like, okay, maybe not OU, but like,
No, definitely OU. No,
yeah,
that's super
yeah.
fair. Why? If
Even like
OU,
South Carolina, would you like I'd rather play at Iowa than South Carolina.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
we'll get into that. Was like 100%.
Iowa or Mississippi State, Stark Vegas at night.
That's a debate that can be had
I know,
for
and
sure.
that's the worst team in
I
the
fully
SEC.
agree.
Yes.
Worst team in the SEC.
But
But
also, you also have to think of everything leading up to that. It's not like, oh, like Oregon goes into Iowa after playing UCLA, UCLA, Northwestern,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Bama's got to go into South Carolina after playing Vandy, Mizzou, Georgia, like Tennessee. That's way like the schedule dynamics is so much different in the SEC versus the Big Ten. One of the hardest things
Yeah.
is the time change.
I do not envy SEC coaching the coaches with their jobs. Like Kalen DeBoer to get a group of 17 to 23-year-old kids like prepared for 5 weeks straight of wars. That's what they just did is so impressive. And which kind of goes like to put a bow on the Brian Kelly thing, like that's because the job is so hard, it just requires so much of you. And if you are on the baseline of I'm only willing to give 90%, you're already screwed because what you're being asked to do is really hard, which is obvious, but I just wanted to kind of bring that up because you're right. That what Alabama just did is like four ranked teams into South Carolina winning in the last 6 minutes of the game.
I think we should put a bow on this by talking about quickly. Do we think Brian Kelly wants to continue to be a head coach in college football? Is
He
this the
has to.
last we'll see of him? So
He has to
he
get
has
back
the
into coaching.
okay.
Dude. He has
He
to
got a
find a
he,
job. But
he's got a Penn State.
That's what I was saying. I
if
think
he
Penn State
doesn't
would be pretty
if he doesn't
funny.
want to coach then, why would he want to coach now?
Yeah. So that's unfortunate for him.
Maybe
He
he should
also, I
coach high
mean,
school
he's got
football.
enough money at this point. Like, if you forego a little bit of your buyout because you don't want to pursue another work opportunity.
I
I
wonder if
think
you
Wisconsin should fire Fickle and hire Brian Kelly. He'd be a perfect fit there.
Yeah, he should go coach in a big. He should
Michigan.
be a Big Ten coach.
I saw a good, I saw an interesting like hypothetical. It was someone tweeting out like, if you're one of these guys that have this huge buyout, why not go coach somewhere off a small salary because you don't need it and dump your salary into NIL?
Hmm, that's not the worst idea.
Brian
But
Kelly,
also, you're
Brian
asking a
Kelly,
guy
the
to
Air
give up
Force.
millions of their dollars.
Yeah, it was just an interesting. It was an interesting piece that I
Hey,
saw.
you heard
Also,
it. Selfless act.
maybe this lights a fire under Brian Kelly, and we see
Yeah.
a final a gust from him where he has a little bit more success. Maybe wins a conference championship at his next location.
Yeah, like you're a human being. There's no way you enjoy seeing what's being said about you on online right now. Like he's going to want to. This is going to this should motivate him at least. I would think. I would hope.
Only time will tell.
Arch, what's that devious smirk on your face about?
I mean, I think if he's been in the business of caring about what people think, I think he would have left coaching probably 10 years ago. So I don't know. I mean, I think he's going to get back into coaching, but I don't think that this will have any. Like, I don't know if y'all saw, he was in Baton Rouge yesterday eating lunch the day after getting fired, just no fucks given, just at some
Yeah.
Mexican restaurant. Like, that was probably the most respected thing I've seen him do at LSU. Just walk back into downtown and does not care.
Truly one of a kind.
All right, Bo has been placed on the Brian Kelly chatter. Let's move on to some football. We've got Ole Miss going into Norman and getting a 34-26 win. They won the fourth quarter 9-0 to get the job done. Anybody have some pressing thoughts on this game?
This was the first ranked road win for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. So that just goes to show we're dealing with a little bit different caliber of Ole Miss team than we've seen in the past. And it's also, I mean, there was a lot of discussion about Lane and the Florida job the last week. So this is kind of exactly what you want to see out of the team, being able to hang in a close game and then pull away at the end. And it appears that they're not really affected at all by the rumors circulating. And it sounds like Lane addressed the team about the rumors too, which he said he doesn't usually do. So it's good to see that they're able to drown all that noise out and focus on the task at hand and then go pick up a big win on the road.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get full game eyes on this because I was heading out, but I think Ole Miss did an incredible job throughout the week in Lane as well, going on McAfee show and not really addressing anything, keeping his guys ready to go. I thought Chambliss was really impressive. It's almost similar to the Georgia game where they started to see it slip away, but made some big throws in the fourth quarter. Ole Miss finally finished. Like we talked about last week, I forget if it was on air or off air, just about how demoralizing fumbled punts are in games. And you saw that with Oklahoma.
Titania played so well all game and he fumbled the punt.
Yeah. Seems like they're starting to get their run game back, whether that's a little too late, but I mean, that was really impressive by Oklahoma to come into a tough environment, bad weather, and be in control of that game for the entire time, basically, except for a little stretch.
Yeah, I was going to go off that. It was weird to see Ole Miss go on the road, like y'all talked about with the Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin struggles on the road, and like control the game from the get go. Bad weather. Usually, like when you hear bad weather, Ole Miss doesn't really work from their style of play. But I mean, they controlled the line of scrimmage. I think Chambliss looked awesome again. They're or I guess it kind of was seen that Oklahoma's D line was kind of masking, or trenches were kind of masking some of the problems on their back end because they were just getting home to the quarterback instantly. So you kind of saw Ole Miss's receivers spring free a little bit, have some success against them, which I think might matter later on for Oklahoma because I mean the rest of their schedule was like they have 4 really hard games still, and so I think that could impact the rest of the way, and I think that could see teams be able to capitalize on that later, but. Overall, great win for Kiffin to tune out the noise and just keep winning.
I think that's a good point too, Arch, because Ole Miss didn't really run super effectively. Like Kawan Lacey only had 78 yards, but they did a really good job in pass protection and they gave Chambliss a lot of time to operate, which at the end of the Georgia game, that was when Chambliss was rattled and you saw a dip in performance from him. I think a lot of that was due to Georgia being able to generate a little more pressure in that fourth quarter. So Ole Miss did a really good job of protecting and like you were saying, Oklahoma's D line's pretty good and probably masked a little bit of their secondary issues. So Ole Miss handling that and being really stout in protection was really impressive to me and a good sign for them down the road.
When I watch games, sometimes I try to formulate like a narrative to talk about or like where I see fit. But in this game, I kind of just watched it and just enjoyed the football. And there were just some things that I saw. And the one thing is, I think Trinidad Chambliss is an NFL quarterback, and I think Dylan Gabriel getting drafted in the third round, I think he's better than Dylan Gabriel. I'm just gonna cut like some of the throws he made. He threw a corner route. He threw a seam ball first drive. It was amazing. He threw two corner routes and a sail route. Oh, he was so good. Another thing, Isaiah Satania, although he had the really bad muff punt, watching him get loose in the open field, he's a track athlete, number 5 for Oklahoma, the receiver. He was unbelievable. And then my favorite thing of this game, and one thing I just wanted to shout out in football is I love when D linemen are used on the goal line to punish linebackers and safeties. And shout out Jamarius Brown, number 96, and Will Eccles, number 52. Jamarius Brown delivered a punishing blow on the goal line and keep Kawan Lacey walk in touchdown. I love seeing D linemen just get an 8-yard head start to just go run into a safety or linebacker. And that's really all I had to say. Super impressed with Ole Miss. I did pick them in this game, so I believed in the train, and I believe in Kiffin. There's still work to be done, but I do think sneaky. It's going to be a huge advantage for the two SEC teams that do not have to play in the SEC championship. So
I agree.
I don't think. I mean, obviously, you're trying to win as many football games as possible, but them being on the outside looking in is not the worst thing you've ever seen in the SEC championship picture because that game's going to be a war. And I also just throwing it out there, like I think the 1 seed is also in a disadvantaged position. We saw all 4 teams off the bye lose last year, so we'll just see how that kind of plays out. But dude, Ole Miss, great position. Love what I'm seeing from them. Different Ole Miss team, and I think Trinidad Chambliss is part of that. Is part of the reason. Also, 2 guys I wanted to shout out. Number 50, their right tackle, and number 61, their left tackle. Like you said, Duska, they were stout all game in protection. There was a couple times where 50 got out of position, but his recovery with using his like shoulder pads and head after getting push pulled to give Chambliss some more time, and some of the athletic plays he did to just like long arm guys like up in the pocket or outside the pocket. So I don't know what you call that in receivers. We call that long arming. I have no idea what you call that.
What was it like the top of the pocket? He was
Top of the pocket, just long arm.
That's kind of we just call it like deflecting up the pocket.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
So
Deflecting up the field.
now we're learning something. But yeah, they did a really good job. So I was kind of watching that all game. Sam, we're gonna move into the next game, and this is a game where you were boots on the ground. You gave a wonderful State of the Union address before this game, and
It almost worked.
And it was so close. The State of the Union proved almost brilliant until Kalen DeBoer had something to say about late game execution. What a thrill in Columbia, 29-20-2. Sam with boots on the ground. I'm going to let you just take it away.
Yeah, first off, like before I even get into the game, like the environment, I don't know if you guys were able to watch on TV. It was incredible. Like my dad was texting me, you could hear on the broadcast how loud it was. Um, the sun setting in the third quarter over the field and then the fourth quarter being at night, it just makes you realize how beautiful college football is and how beautiful Williams-Brice Stadium is.
How
Did have the
beautiful
pleasure
life
to be
is.
boots on the what?
How beautiful life is.
Yeah, was able to be boots on the ground with a lot of my college friends back for alumni weekend. But it was kind of what I expected. I figured this would be a Super Bowl type game for South Carolina, probably besides Clemson, their last big home game. And I mean, they gave it their all. That D line battled the whole time. They were getting through, basically eliminated Alabama's rushing attack, which was really encouraging to see from a team who hasn't been able to stop the run all year. O-line made some improvements. And Lenore's played pretty well. And we got a couple good bounces go our way. We had a strip sack and the muff punt. But when it comes down to it, a couple of things. Number one, when you throw a pick six inside your own 10, bad things usually happen. The running back that we wanted to free. Maybe that was not a good idea that we freed him. Maybe he should have stayed locked up. The NCAA might have knew something that we didn't. Um, just some things, some gripes that I had with how South Carolina handled the end of the game. The first being score a touchdown about 8-ish minutes left, I believe it was, and then instead of going for two to go up by two possessions against the number 3 team in the country when you're really not playing for anything, you take the extra point. Beamer in his press conference said they discussed it for about 2 seconds, didn't want to do that. My question to that is, did you really not think that if Bama did score, that Grubb did not have a play in his bag that they knew was going to work 100% of the time, which they did? So really disappointed at that. And then great drive by Alabama. I mean, Ty Simpson is just an operator, and it's so fun to watch him play in person and just see how he commands that offense and the creativity from that Alabama offense, especially down the stretch there. But just a sad loss for South Carolina. Hate to bring it to this, but Lenore's played an excellent game and had that unfortunate fumble at the end. Just have to be a little bit more careful. But this is just kind of the way the season's gone for South Carolina. And now eyes are turning to the offseason, and maybe them and Clemson should just shake hands in week 12 and head to January. But incredible game to be at, fun watch. And I think this just shows how much of a wagon the Tide are, that they can bring a bad effort, have a really emotional, gutsy win, and move forward.
Yeah, well said. I think just one thing on this game, we talked about it to open the show, and we talked about it when Texas A&M played Auburn a few weeks back. It's like sometimes you just don't have your A game, and you're really struggling to find a rhythm and get things going offensively, and all that really matters at the end of those games is if you get the victory or not. And Alabama, they didn't lose this one, so that's all that really matters. And it's just a testament to the SEC, like we were saying earlier, that you play at the caliber you have the last 4 weeks, all against ranked teams, and then you come into Columbia, brutal environment to play in as an away team, and you have to find a way to win to keep your conference championship hopes alive. So just all the credit in the world to that team for gritting it out. And yeah, the SEC is just, it's a different animal.
Yeah, Bob, my quick thoughts. Awesome game that turned like so unfortunate and just like such a letdown so quickly when like Bama scores a tie and then instantly like strip sack from Lenore as Bama just scores again. And then at that point, you're like, I think there's like 40 seconds left. You're kind of wondering what's going to happen. And then I think they had like a check down and they get sacked again and the game's over. It's an unfortunate ending for such a valiant effort for South Carolina. Because I think y'all's team had every reason to quit and just mail it in. But I mean, it shows like you fought for Beamer, you fought for the school, and you almost did upset Alabama, but just an unfortunate ending to watch when you're rooting for like South Carolina and you're just like you were just so close, but there was a few things that didn't go your way that ended up just turning the tide in the wrong way for you.
Arch, that was a similar walk back as the LSU's. Quiet, very, very quiet walk out of the stadium.
I can imagine. That LSU one, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy walking out of there.
It's like, it's sad, but like you're not like super depressed because the season's basically lost. It just would have been cool. But I mean, to those who have not experienced it, Williams-Brice is an incredible environment, and they do such a good job of making up for the fact that they're not this traditionally insane environment with the lights and the music and the stage. It's just such a cool scene with the towels. So just shout out to in-game ops, whoever's in charge of that. They listen to the pod. Good job.
Truly one of the greatest. Truly one of the greatest in the world. In-game viewing experience. Speaking of in-game viewing experience and muff punts, BYU beat Iowa State 41-27, outscoring them 14-0 in the fourth quarter. This game flipped on its head when in a 27-27 ball game at the end of the third quarter, BYU punts the football. The returner calls poison, which means get out of the way. The punt is short. It's standing. The ball is on the ground, laying motionless. A, an Iowa State defender on the punt return team is continuing to block and like try to win his one-on-one battle against the BYU player. The BYU player throws him into the football. BYU recovers it, and then they go down to score and in the ensuing possession of the fourth quarter, and they end up winning the game. Just a sad, sad way to go out for Iowa State. They're decimated by injury, especially on the defensive side of the football. But BYU, they are in this thing, and they are in the driver's seat to be in the Big 12 championship. Now, this is what they have to do. They have a bye this week. Then November 8th, they play Texas Tech. They can lose that game. Then they play TCU, Cincinnati, and UCF, where they have to win out. And Cincinnati is they're 17 in the country. So they play 2 more ranked games, plus a tough out in a TCU team. So the schedule is pretty tough for BYU, but you know what they say in college football, nothing matters till November. November's where you're remembered. So let's see if BYU can be remembered in November. Shout out Bear Bachmeier and the cast of whites that they employ.
Yeah, I got actually watched most of this game. I believe this was like the 3:30 game, so I spent most of my time watching this. Rocco Beck, this disaster class. I mean, like Chuck said, the muff punt, like we talked about it last week. There's no easier way to just ruin your chances to win a game. Like BYU scores a touchdown, Iowa State kicks a field goal, and then Iowa State forces like a huge punt, instant muff punt. BYU scores in 3 plays. To make matters worse, the very next play for Iowa State, they throw it pick 6. So you have a swing of like in 4 plays, you had a drive taken away from you, a touchdown scored, and then you threw a 14 points, probably even more of a 14-point swing. I don't know the analytics, in about 20 seconds of game time. Horrible.
Yeah, probably 18 and a half point swing.
Yeah, just terrible. That's the easiest way to lose a football game. And then you follow it up with a turnover on downs, and then you force another punt, and then you throw an interception. I mean, the last interception is like this, whatever. But this is a disaster class in the fourth quarter from Matt Campbell's Cyclones, which usually they're pretty good in these close games. Just not very good today, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think the padlock stat to this game would be 4 turnovers from Iowa State to 0 turnovers from BYU. And you're not going to win any games losing the turnover battle with that. I think BYU just plays this solid, disciplined game of football. And they're fun to watch, fun with Bear. Some people hate that his number is 47, and I kind of love it.
I love it.
I think it's kind of cool. Not really much to add. Yeah, but I like their chances to make it to Dallas.
Do you know he's a Stanford transfer?
Bachmeier?
He's a true freshman.
No.
Yeah, it's his brother. I think his brother's a Stanford transfer, Chuck.
No, both of them.
Did he decommit from Stanford?
I'm pretty sure he's a true freshman.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought he was a true freshman. Let me look. Maybe he was
committed to Stanford.
He committed to Stanford.
He played in the spring.
Oh, no. After early enrolling at Stanford of the 2025 season,
count.
he entered the portal during spring practice.
He's a Stanford transfer. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no.
Okay, and I have more to say. Emmett Mosley, the guy who made the 2 touchdown catches in the Texas game, also a Stanford transfer. You know the kid that made no?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know you're talking about.
I mean, it's a fertile recruiting area. It's just the program's in shambles.
I know.
There, so
they showed
having trouble retaining that talent.
I know. It was sad because it kind of looks like Andrew Luck's doing his job up there, but the program is failing him.
There's another open job.
Yeah, there you go, Sam.
Might be Andrew Luck that steps into that head coach role. That'd be pretty cool.
Wouldn't hate that. He was on the sideline trying to juice up the fellas the whole game.
Yeah,
he's the man.
He is the man.
I was going to say one last thing about BYU because I know we're talking about their Big 12 race. They have, I don't know if anyone pays attention to, net success rates in college football. It's basically like when they compare the 2 teams. BYU has 3 wins this year where they had a worse success rate than their opposing team, which like is not good. But when you're undefeated, that's like they just find ways to win every single week, and that's a better. Yeah, it's better to be lucky than be good sometimes. And they get lucky with like fortuitous bounces. But it's just weird because last year they had the exact same thing where they had worse success rates and they just kept finding ways to win. So it might just be something in the water. And I believe it's Provo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see who everyone has as their Big 12 playoff team, because that means they're your Big 12 champ. I'm excited to get into that.
Yes, exactly.
The Utah Utes.
Can we go into the G5 race? Do you want to do a little G5 forward pass?
Sure.
So Memphis got a huge win at home over USF 34-31. They scored 17 unanswered in the fourth quarter to hand USF their first conference loss. What a heroic effort from Brendan Lewis, RB of the Week alumni, who was a game time decision because of a leg injury. Just unbelievable. It was our first RB of the Week alumni duo with Byron Brown, who was, I believe, our first RB of the week, and then Brendan Lewis, who was maybe our third or fourth RB of the week. Anyway, first off, when you put up the tape on, especially when USF is playing G5 teams, Byron Brown is a big ass dude. Like he is 6'4", 245. Like he is a big ass dude. First thing. But Memphis in the fourth quarter, that was just hang around, get knocked down a few times, and then just deliver a knockout blow. Craig Delozia Jr., the running back number 13 for Memphis, made some key plays in the fourth. He had touchdown runs, a third down pickups in the run and the pass game. And then at the end of the day, it came down to late game execution, and there was a key holding penalty with 10 seconds left of the game to make a 42-yard field goal, a 52-yard field goal, and that was just an unfortunate loss for USF, and that puts their margin of error at very low the rest of the year. Very low the rest of the year, and they still have to play the Midshipmen. Let's not forget that. Every other game is pretty manageable, though. They play UTSA, Navy, UAB, Rice.
Yeah. To go on the Byron Brown point real quick, because I know we were pretty me and Sam, especially because we were doing the deep dives of USF Boise to start the season. Like Chuck said, he's just an animal. I don't know if anybody saw his touchdown to end the first quarter where he broke 2 tackles, hurdled a guy, and then broke another tackle.
That was insane.
Yeah.
I mean, no, he's not our RB of the week. Spoiler for everybody. But he had just as much as a right. I mean, he's a playmaker. He's a perfect G5 quarterback. I mean, I could see him.
He's a tight end in the NFL.
I was literally about to say that.
He's such a tight end.
We have to try that.
Why are we not? Because his throwing motion is really bad. Like that's just not getting fixed.
That's a bad ball coming off his hands.
Really bad ball. But dude, that is a tight end. That is Travis Kelce.
I mean,
okay, Travis Kelce's a Hall of Famer, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm like watching this clip over, and it's like he's just a specimen.
Yeah,
I can't believe. I don't know. I got to look at where he was offered out of high school, because I don't know if he was primary position quarterback. With all due respect, but I mean, he's a ball player.
He's such a good athlete. And Brendan Lewis, I tell you what, that guy's a good athlete too. He made some great scramble plays. It was a good G5 QB duel. Better QB play from this game than a lot of other Power 5 games, Power 4 games on the day.
Oh. He had a bunch of G5 and FCS offers.
Who's his FCS offers?
Furman, Hampton, A&T,
Hampton,
Campbell, FAMU, North Carolina Central, and the Arizona Christian Firestorm. I don't know. I assume that's D2 or D3, but USF looks like it was one of his only G5 offers. Crazy.
The HBCUs were on him.
What year is he?
I believe he's a junior.
Dude, his combine.
No, he's a senior. He's a senior.
TE number 42 is going to be awesome.
Wonder if he's any eligibility left.
I think he has one last year because he got a medical because he broke his leg.
Just going back to the game for a second.
Yeah. Let's go back to the game.
4th and 4, the red zone for USF. I think it was early in the fourth or late in the third. They went for it and didn't convert. Could have made it a 2-score game there. I don't know if that would have changed the outcome, but it's the type of stuff you think about when the score ends up being a 3-point loss.
Yep.
And then the other thing for me in this one was just egregious holding call. It doesn't even matter if it's a hold. It's the last play of the game before a game-tying field goal attempt. Byron Brown's not going to go down no matter what. If the play's not there, he's going to throw it away. Like the holding, I don't know. Refs deciding games in that manner because a 42-yard field goal compared to a 52-yard field goal, it's a drastic difference. So,
Okay. Question though. Is that not also, should that not go into the decision making of running drop back vertical pass game when all you need is like a 5-yard stick route? Like I also think that's a little bit of when I watched it, all I said was, why are we doing this? Why are we trying to get the vertical pass game going when we literally need 5 yards?
That's not an unfair point. I think both are true.
Yeah, both can be true.
Yeah.
Reasonable minds can come to those two conclusions.
And I just hate that USF lost because they've been the most fun G5 team to watch, and it would have been fun to have them in the playoff. But I mean, Memphis deserves a lot of credit for hanging around and making big plays at the end.
They are still in it. Might I say?
They're still
in it.
I think the American champ is going to make the playoff.
Yes,
So
they are still in the American race.
Yeah, be interesting to see how it all sorts out.
And is there a chance that could just be the American championship, a rematch of this game?
Yes.
Yeah. Navy and Tulane are both undefeated, but Navy is a 7-point underdog this week in North Texas. Somehow,
I mean, I'd love Navy to make the conference championship game, but they have an absolutely insane gauntlet of a schedule in November.
Yeah. And then Tulane is also
I
undefeated.
got something for the Navy. We got a lot of Navy listeners on this pod. Matt Harden, we got guys on the pod that listen to the show. So here's all I'll say: you get remembered in November.
The air is different in November, though.
Yeah. When you run the option, it's the same.
That's fair.
Dude, just make your reads. Dude, the one thing I will say about Navy that worries me, and Florida Atlantic kind of got theirs on offense this week, our defense lacks athleticism, lacks speed, lacks athleticism, lacks length. Our defensive line is actually pretty good. We returned a lot of guys' production from last year. We actually have good edge rushers and good defensive line play. We have a safety that number 16, dude, rooting for you, bud. I also want you to play a little bit better football. That's all I'm asking. Our linebackers are slow and white, and they have fat ass ankles, and that just doesn't play well in this day and age. So that's what worries me about Navy football, is that we're just gonna have to get in these track meets, which we can. We have Blake Horvath. He's a top 5 he's a finalist for the academic Heisman, if you didn't know. Which in my opinion, that's more important than the Heisman, because you're throwing in academics as well. Like, we're getting active in the classroom and on the football field. But that's neither here nor there. But
yeah, I want to see what Ty Simpson's taking this semester.
How do you think?
I'd like to see his class schedule.
No, he's also in the academic Heisman race.
Oh,
yeah.
Let me see Gunnar Stockton's class schedule for this semester.
He's not in the.
He's in his master's.
Yeah. I'm sure he is.
That's embedded not getting a degree. Yeah, Pavia's probably taking.
Pavia does have the SEC graduate on his SEC logo, so good for him.
I do have proof that Stockton does take classes, because I was in one with him and he was there every day.
Nice.
That's all I'll say.
I'm not denying that he's taking classes. I just want to know.
He's probably not.
I want to know what they are.
He's probably not taking seamanship and navigation.
No,
probably not that.
Do you guys remember when, like, during the Manziel era, when they made it like pretty public that they switched his major to leadership? He was in the business school, and then he switched
a leadership major.
And that was when they used to show like the guys majors on their like player bios.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Is that a real?
They took that off in the SEC, at least, because so many schools used to complain that every single one of their football players was either in general studies, which is basically just like a high school degree, or leadership, or like something like leadership strategies or communication. So like schools told them to take it off because it used to be it would pop up like the good hands player of the week, like classroom academic,
Yeah.
and it would say what their major was. Now they've strayed far away from the academics of the SEC.
Yeah, yeah, but that's the if for those who don't know, let's just pull this back up again. Um, the Navy football schedule. We're at North Texas as a touchdown underdog this week. Next week we go to Notre Dame, then we get South Florida at home, and then we go to Memphis.
Sounds like 4-0.
Dude, all you need to do is go 2-1 in the G5 games. The Notre Dame game, that's just icing on the cake. That is just for rivalry and for the goodness of American college football. But dude, it starts here. We got to get this North Texas game because going south, having to beat South Florida, then Memphis, that's a tough ask. Tough ask. But
I will say though, Mestamaker 600 yards through the air against Charlotte. You just mentioned Navy's
not
defense
moved. Not
struggling a little
moved.
bit.
Not
moved.
moved
Okay.
by not
Well,
moved.
that game was
The
tied
Charlotte-
midway through the
The
third
North
quarter.
Texas
Yes,
defense,
yes.
they did look havable though.
Yes,
They looked
thank
havable.
you, Arch. Charlotte was winning this football game.
I thought Charlotte was literally going to win, and then you looked up and they won by 4. Like they won by 40, and you were
Charlotte
just
had the worst collapse I've ever seen with 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter to the final snap of the game. I've never seen the avalanche of bad happen because I was somehow watching late night AAC, which is better than late night Cussa on two. Late night Cussa is a horrendous brand of football. I would just
It's
like to
really
point that
bad.
out. It's
Yeah.
I was watching Delaware, like Sam Houston State in my class one day. Oh my gosh.
horrible.
It was really
There's
rough.
always no CUSA weeknight. There's always there's always a special teams error.
Oh.
There's always some horrendous penalty that ends up costing a team a game. Clock management. I'll say this from CUSA, they need to host like a yearly seminar with coaches talking about it because I've never seen like a blatant disregard for just like timeout. Like last week, Louisiana Tech was playing Western Kentucky.
Oh,
They had a
disgusting.
timeout and they ran what is the field goal where they like just like run everybody out there?
Hurricane.
They ran a
Toro.
hurricane with
Toro,
like
yeah, whatever.
Toro with like 15 seconds left, and they had a timeout and they just didn't burn it. So then they got there and they snapped it with like 2 seconds left, and their kicker like shanks it because nobody. It's like, what are you like? And the announcers were like, why are they not?
They were
calling
just
a time?
practicing hurricane. They were just practicing.
Dude, it's horrible. It is so. It's like it's a joke. It is. They're really bad. I'm not trying to get on a tangent. But it's genuinely bad to watch. Yeah, literally. Yeah, the school. Raheem Morris hosted they need to not host it with Raheem Morris. They need like Kirby Smart or somebody. It's bad.
It's so bad. It's a terrible. I was watching there was like some sixth-year quarterback for who Delaware play last week?
They played Delaware last week. Played Middle Tennessee.
Yes,
Nick Vadiato.
Nick Vadiato. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he was actually diamond all over the field. But
Yeah.
oh my gosh, he's like the all-time leading like everything in Middle Tennessee history, but they're 1-5 this year. Like tough.
Fun fact: they have Derek Mason, the old Vandy coach, as their coach, and he's really bad. He's the guy that has really bad clock management. Horrible.
All right, enough Cussa ball. We got real deep into that, but all right, couple quick hitters. Washington beats the brakes off of Illinois, 42-25. Arch is gonna have more to say to that as we reveal playoff brackets later. But Iowa, they do not play around about the Floyd of Rosedale trophy.
Duska didn't get that memo.
No, Duska, tough one.
Nope.
No. Oh, Arch, congrats, dude, on the Super Dog.
They should have won outright. I don't know if anybody watched it, but they should have won outright. That's all I'll say.
Who was it?
UNC. They lost on a
Oh
2-point
my
conversion
gosh.
play.
That was sharp on you, Arch. Sharp on you. Also, we forgot to put Gus on the graphic.
He didn't tell me what his super dog was.
He told Sam.
UNC also, Arch.
It was who?
Sam, you're our liaison to the editor. This is known.
Well, our editor must have missed it.
Arch,
Kiffin has
UNC also 2 red zone turnovers as well.
Don't even get me started because this is gambling related. I laddered Gio Lopez's passing yards to 300 just because I was like fun sweat. His line was 172. He had 173 at the half, so he hit his line in the first half. He had 20 yards passing the rest of the game. I also laddered his passing touchdowns. One turnover, the guy fumbles it out of the end zone. The same way they lost against Cal last week. Second, like it's unfat. Belichick, he needs to go. He needs to be fired out of a cannon. They should have won that game. It was I don't know how they didn't. Blatant mismanagement. And Virginia, yet again, wins when they shouldn't.
Yeah, UVA.
Yeah, their time's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's
like
Their time is on the way.
What'd you say?
They're on a disgusting amount of fraud.
might come this week.
What'd you say, Art? They're on a disgusting amount
Amount of fraud watch. Like they can't keep getting away with this.
True.
Yeah, it's
True.
their time's
They
coming.
won't. They won't. They won't.
Oh, they played Cal this week.
They're like
Dude,
3
that
point
freshman
favorites.
quarterback's kind of intriguing.
He's like good like 80% of the time, then 20% of the time it's like this like the freshman stuff.
Yeah, that's usually. I mean, that's how it goes. That's how like Mason Heinschel is at Pitt. Like you see the most amazing play you ever see, and then like you just see the nastiest play ever, and that's just the freshman football. But I actually enjoy some freshman football. I like the viewing aesthetic of the ups and downs. All right, so we hit Washington, we hit Iowa, stopping the boat. 0 boat was rowed against Minnesota. Is that still their thing? Or are they ski you ma now? Are they both?
Same.
They're
Same
both.
thing.
Yeah.
I believe they're both.
Got you. Okay, thanks. Vandy stays hot. They beat Mizzou 17-10 in a slugfest that I did not find. I thought neither team deserved to win this game, but somebody had to, and Vanderbilt pulled it off. And that's the thing about the SEC is both these teams are playing gauntlets of schedule, so it was bound to kind of get an emotional letdown from both of them. And some late game execution from Diego Pavia and the Commodores, and a really unfortunate Pribula injury. Although I did think, what was the backup's name? Gonzalez? Was that this?
Zollers.
Who?
Matt Zollers is a freshman.
He looked
He
solid.
looked good.
Dude, he was
I think they
good.
can
He looked like
games
he
with
could
that.
throw the football better than Pribula. I'll say that.
I thought he gave them some juice. But that was good football game. Do you think Vandy's like playoff worthy, or do you think it's coming for Vandy? Like that's the real question we're asking it here, because
I think their time's coming, but I think there's also a path for them making the playoff.
The path
I wouldn't be surprised.
Dude, they have 3 more games left, guys. They literally have 3 more games left. It's Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee. And they only have 1 loss.
They play Texas.
Okay, that's what I'm about to say. Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee. You can go 3-1 and make the playoff.
I think there's also something to be said about a game like this where you get outgained by 100 yards offensively and you really can't get anything going all day. And it looks like you should lose. And Missouri has all these chances. Winning a game like this, like that also speaks a lot to the culture you have instilled. I think it's led by Diego Pavia. I think the team has taken the identity and the confidence that he carries into games with them. And it's the type of team where you know that they believe that they're going to find a way to win no matter what's happening. And I think that was evident in this game here, where there's just a few plays where Mizzou comes up short and Vandy's able to take advantage of that. And they hit a huge explosive rushing touchdown and things just seem to break their way. I think that doesn't happen by accident all the time. And it's a testament to Vandy, a little luck mixed in, but also just impressive that they're able to pull stuff like this off and keep it rolling.
Like you said,
and I think everyone should take
plays.
a step back for a second too, and just, appreciate the revival of the Vandy program and what they've been able to do. What were you saying? Sorry.
78 plays to 45 plays. Missouri ran 78 plays to 45 plays. Like that's insane that they.
And Hardy was effective. Like there was a path to victory for Missouri, and it just didn't work out. Like the mesh point steal. I don't know the last time I've seen it. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but it's pretty awesome when you pull stuff like that off.
fun fact. So this is the first time Vandy's been 7-1 since 1941. And that was when there was less than 8,000 TVs nationwide. So this is the first time in front of a national audience that we've ever seen Vanderbilt be of this much relevance. So,
I
thought
think
that
people were worried that much about college football.
Yeah.
no, you're right. You're right,
I think we had
Sam.
slightly bigger issues.
Speaking of macro issues, a lot of them in that time.
Yeah, there was some.
Yeah.
There's one
There's
guy.
some stuff
There's
going on.
something going
There's
on.
got one guy out in Atlantic, one guy out the Pacific.
The third Heidenreich.
Yeah, me getting shadow banned. I can't wait till they pull that clip up in my interview and they're like, "So you support anti-Semitism?" And I was like, "What? No, I support Navy." Um, okay, Texas.
Oh,
How about them Longhorns? That was something else. Hook them, and they stayed relevant. They stayed relevant somehow. Last week we talked about them going to Stark Vegas, and it looked so bleak. You talk about like an entertaining last 10 minutes of football. That was awesome. Watching it because I just got back from the tailgate after our game. Um, we won the Coal Bowl, by the way. Huge win.
congrats, IUP. Big
Yeah,
win.
big win for the Coal Bowl. But in this game, I come back home to watch this game and dude, absolutely insane. First off, Ryan Niblett, this is the second week or how long ago? He returned one at Oklahoma and then he returned one here. I think he has like two or like four. I think he has four returning touchdowns on the year, kick and punt included. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then off the bench, Arch gets hurt in overtime. Off the bench, the backup comes in and throws a seed of a fade ball to Emmett Mosley, who we talked about earlier, Stanford transfer. Huge play. Entertaining game. Don't know the prospects of Texas. And I was thinking, Sam, like how you were talking like about how last week you were like, I think Texas might hang around. And when it was 38-17, I was like, well, they might not be hanging around, but here they are. Here they are.
Yeah, I wonder if this could be like maybe could unlock the offense a little bit. Maybe. I mean, if yeah, they have a tough path. They have to they either have to win out or get help and get into the SEC championship with 2 losses somehow.
Is Arch out this week?
I think he's going to play based on what I was reading earlier. But
Hmm.
either way, I think they can win against Vandy with Caldwell based off the very limited sample size. I think
He
their
wasn't
defense
bad
is good
last year
enough.
at Troy. I mean, there was a
Yeah.
reason why they got him in the spring portal.
I think Missouri showed you can box Pavia and there's a path to just stopping the Vandy offense completely if you're able to prevent them from jumping out to a lead. So
There is
Texas
one.
defense is definitely good enough to pull that off. And I think Arch made some really good throws in the comeback, and they might be able to, like Sam was saying, they might be able to carry a little offensive momentum into the Vandy game.
So one thing my offensive coordinator talks about, Frank Cincinnati Jr., he talks about like in offense, like everything is built off of the vertical passing game. And one thing you always want to have is like the threat of the vertical passing game. And in a traditional sense, I don't think Vanderbilt has like your traditional deep crossing and routes and like your pocket pass where you get to just like protect with five, vert routes, your seam balls, all the traditional vertical pass game stuff. They don't incorporate. Their vertical passing game comes in the form of like leaking the tight end and some like boots and getting Pavia in movement situations. And then also like they can crack huge runs because they have an extra hat in their run game pretty much every time with Pavia. And so they find ways to be explosive without the vertical passing game, but it does, like we've seen today, it really when you throw for 138 yards and a pick, like it makes it really hard to run sustainable offense. And Texas defense is pretty good. So yeah, that is going to be an interesting matchup to see the rest of the way because they do play good defenses because Auburn's defense is a good defense next week. So we'll see. Just want to throw that out there.
I would have totally went to that game. I have a wedding this weekend, and I would have totally went to that game had I've been able to.
What's your fit looking like for the wedding?
It's black tie, so
Probably black
black
tie
tie.
then. Yeah.
Black
Yeah,
tie? Is that like is that like a tux? Like what do you wear? I don't know.
black suit.
Black suit, black tie.
Shout out, my dad brought it last weekend.
Nice.
He was here.
Say hi to Tado for me. It's my guy.
I will.
Oh guys, funny stat. Iowa hit for the scoring cycle, and they had less than 300 yards in their game against Minnesota. This is the scoring cycle. They had a TD run, a TD pass, a field goal, a pick six, and a punt return touchdown. Good on Iowa.
Uh,
Oh,
Told you, the pod said this.
they were saving it. I mean, they still
Saving
had
it all.
less than 300 yards of offense, but yeah.
they were
Still
saving the
saving.
punt returns.
Yes.
And the pick six.
And the pick six, they were saving that.
Wait, how about random? Is this the thing? There was South Carolina went on. There was a punt that they didn't put a returner back there. They just lined 12, 11 guys up on the line and just sprinted at the punter.
It can be a thing. I mean,
It was.
I
the
think South
dumbest
Carolina
thing
did
I've
that
seen.
to try and. I think South Carolina did that to set up a block. Special team savant
Yeah,
Boomer
obviously.
always tries to think
no, I know
outside
they're
the
trying to get the
box.
block, but like to me, that's just kind of dumb. When your punt returner has 3 punt return touchdowns.
Yeah, seems like maybe we're overthinking it. But also you got to think like he is thinking of they were not going to ever beat Alabama without like
Yeah,
a heroic effort. So, good on it. I mean,
it was just kind of funny. Like,
yeah. Are we really
good
trying
thing
this?
good thing our top punt returner is back there.
One last thing before we get into the next couple, like the next segments. Arizona State, what a shame. What a shame. Good thing this week we decided last week to not reveal our playoff brackets because I made a slight change to mine this week, seeing the result of what happened. Arizona State, no Jordan Tyson, Sam Levitt, incredible per usual. But you can't be down 24-6 to Houston and expect to win.
I think it was 24-0.
Yes, it was actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be down 24-0 and expect to win. So they made it a game at the end, but
And then Jeff Sims was in on their game-winning drive or game-tying drive attempt, which is
Jeff Sims'
unfortunate.
college football career, I've yet to see a good performance. He's been at Georgia Tech, he's been at Nebraska, and he's been at Arizona State, and he is putrid.
He's genuinely horrible. I've never seen he's genuinely really bad. I don't understand how he gets
power 4 gigs.
Yeah, I going from Georgia Tech where he was horrible to Nebraska and then he was even more horrible is just mind-boggling.
Right? Like how did he deserve that gig from the Nebraska film? I just don't understand. Because there were moments at Georgia Tech I remember where I was like, oh, this guy has some juice. The juice has been squeezed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll never do.
Yeah. But yeah, tough. Dusky, you have anything to say about our beloved Arizona State as they wither away from playoff hopes and just the state of the program?
I mean, they're just a really fun team to watch, so it's unfortunate that they're not able to replicate what they did last year with winning a lot of close games and having a fun run to the Big 12 championship. But I mean, the Big 12 is what the Big 12 is. It's just a big mosh pit of teams that can beat each other any given week, and you just never know. You never quite know what the outcome is going to be until we get there. So it's unfortunate, but good win for Houston, and they look good.
I love playing this game, so we're gonna play it. Is Sam Levitt a first round quarterback? Okay.
I don't think
Is
he's
he
gonna come out.
is he in the
this year
draft
anymore.
this year?
He's not gonna come out.
He was
He's
supposed to be.
eligible. He's out this week.
I mean, I would just play another season.
Yeah, I would too. Maybe.
He can elevate himself to
Dude,
first round status too. He's
I
young.
like
He's
him.
20.
I like him a lot.
He's 20 years
I
old.
think you're going to see a lot of these guys stay.
Yeah. And you can still make $1 million.
I
think
hope
that's
most of the
looking-
guys stay. That'd be fun.
I think
Draft
other than
looking-
Simpson and Mendoza, I think most guys are going to.
I hope Simpson stays too. It's looking less likely each week, but
Do you think Dante Moore stays?
No,
He's probably gonna be the first overall pick. He'd probably be the number one quarterback of the draft if he does go.
The craziest thing is all of the guys that are considered first round talents have eligibility and can return if they want. I'd say the most likely to leave, unfortunately, is Lenoris. If there was anybody that I thought was kind of a
Because
slam dunk.
we thought Nussmeier might be a first round pick, and he looks more of like a third round pick.
And I think he's the only one that has to go.
Yeah, he has to go.
Yeah.
I,
So it'll be an interesting quarterback
I think
class.
Lenoris might actually transfer.
Yeah.
I think
That
that's
would be pretty fun, for unfortunate as it is for SC.
No, and it would definitely be doing SEC school.
Yeah.
yeah. We were joking on the way to the
Maybe he'll go back to
that
Syracuse.
night. We said Lenoris is going to be really good for Georgia next year.
Him and Fran Brown reunite.
He might be at
Syracuse.
LSU.
Dude, if Dante Moore leaves, I could see Oregon throwing a bag at Lenoris.
Ooh, that'd be really, really fun.
That would be fun. And he's
Will
out of the
Stein doesn't
SEC.
get picked up. So
Like
who's
it.
SC's quarterback next year?
Dante Reno.
Air Nolan.
Dude, SC's
Aaron
kind
Nolan.
of
Jackson Arnold.
I heard Jody actually just got another year of eligibility.
No, Arnold's going to be running the ball for him.
yeah, he'll be a tight end.
Evangeli?
Dude, what if Byron Brown and Jackson Arnold are playing tight end for the Cox next year?
Catch
Well, I was
balls with
thinking,
Steve Angeli.
Or the North Texas quarterback.
Yeah. Mestamaker.
Even maker.
Stevie Maker. Or like it could be like Malik Washington.
Oh, dude,
Guys like that.
That sucks for Maryland.
Like
You bang the right recruit and then you just
What about Austin Simmons? What's his deal?
I don't know if he has eligibility left.
Yeah, I don't.
Simmons definitely does.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought Simmons doesn't have eligibility, or Chambliss doesn't. Simmons
I don't think
does.
Shamlis does. Simmons is like a redshirt freshman this year.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think he'll stay?
No, I don't.
I think Chambliss.
I don't think Simmons has a.
dude,
I
he's
think
like a,
Simmons. Yeah, but
Did he
Simmons
use anything in does baseball count towards his?
No, it's
eligibility?
the same. It's the same year. So if he's a redshirt freshman in football, he's also a redshirt freshman in baseball.
I don't think his. I think his is. I don't know if he has eligibility left because of. Let me look.
He definitely has eligibility. He's still a
Compliance
teenager.
guy.
Mason
I guess he has-
Heischel.
I guess he'll have
So he
two
plays
more
baseball?
years.
Yeah.
He played baseball. Yeah, dude, he was gross lefty
I guess
pitcher.
he'll have 2 more years. I don't know why I thought that he wouldn't.
all right. Do you guys want to do Super Dog and RB of the week?
I would love to.
All right, I'll pull up the Super Dog.
Jays are up 6-1.
Yeah, I got it on right here.
Are you
So-
doing a Super Dog recap, Chuck?
Yeah, Super Dog recap. I don't think we'll have our picks unless you guys do.
I'll
But
give,
We can do them at the
I'll
end.
give one that I might, but I don't know if I'm going to stick with it.
all right, so I was actually 4-0 on the pick'em this week. That was my first time doing that. Luke was 3-1. Arch
Pick'em's getting tight.
2-2. Sam,
I'm ice cold in the pickup.
yeah, ice
I've been
cold.
I've been fielding text messages about it.
Oh yeah, is it so? Arch is up by 2 games.
Yeah, I put the record on the bottom of the
Yeah,
sheet.
yeah, I'm
gonna
seeing
keep track it that way.
Yep. Okay. Nice. So
It's getting nice and
it
tight.
is getting nice and tight. That was a big week for me. Syracuse, they got Haynes kinged. They got running back this week. Thought it was a good spot for the Orange. Was not a good spot for the Orange. Sam almost picked an outright win on the Superdog, but South Carolina lost.
I was actually thinking about that during the game. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna tell me in
Bang.
the super dog."
Sad. UNC would have been a huge Superdog win for Arch, but he just gets the 5. And Minnesota, did they play football this week?
I think that game got canceled.
Got you. Florida Rosedale didn't.
I think it was just an RBA for Iowa that game.
Yeah. Well, actually, it says
Which they need a lot of work in. So
guess how many
it's
yards?
good for them.
Guess how many yards passing Mark Grobanowski had in the 41-point explosion.
78.
No, a little higher than that. That'd be insane. It's like 136. So not all that much better, but they won. They won. And then, Arch, ready to go?
Yeah, RB of the week. Let's
Yeah.
do it. So, this week, like we said, we're not going to give it to Byron Brown, even though he's worthy every week.
And Haynes King. Haynes King's also worthy every
Haynes
week.
King also. I mean, he does it all.
And Jackson Arnold, derogatory.
True, derogatory emphasis on that. No, also Arnold got benched finally. Sorry,
Yes.
and they put in the guy that I went to high school with that I told y'all Pate should have been talking about in the summer, and he looked somewhat formidable. So Auburn might have something, but that's neither here nor there. This week, what the hell? Can y'all see it?
Not yet.
Dude, you're frozen.
Yeah.
This is the worst
The
time.
power of the RB. Got you.
I don't.
Dude, Connor Wegman just might join the stream.
Oh, you spoiled it.
Could you imagine? All right, I don't know why it's freezing when I do it. This is kind of frustrating. This has never happened before.
Yeah, if you're listening on podcasts, we're sorry.
Okay, so we're not gonna graphic whatever. Who cares? We're gonna give it to Connor Wegman. 21 carries, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns, I believe, if I'm reading the graphic correctly. Good showing for him. 7-point underdogs in Tempe, I believe.
Yes.
And you get the outright win. Huge ups to Willie Fritz for taking a chance on him in the portal this year. He's looked decent, but this is definitely one of his better games. So, yeah, I'm trying and it's not working. So, congratulations, Connor Wegman. Big ups.
Congrats, Connor.
Good job, Connor. Really, really proud of you, man.
I'll never forget that clip of you in the A&M team meeting room. It's pretty funny.
Dude, it's really bad because the graphic would have been hilarious. That's why I'm upset.
No.
I had a clip art of shoes in the middle from his you talking my shoe like that? Whenever he was talking. And it was gonna be so good. Oh man.
Also, Houston has a tight end, Tanner Kozoil. I don't know how you say
he's a
his last
dog.
name, but yeah, he's so good.
He's so nasty.
Yeah, he was all over the field.
Oh, he was giving Arizona State hell. Hey,
Coach, why don't we just put it on the Instagram story?
Yeah, good call.
Put it on the Instagram story.
Also, Houston is sneaky in the Big 12 race as well.
Yeah, they are.
They're undefeated in conference play, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they have one loss.
They have one loss. Sorry.
They got throttled by Texas.
They were my super dog.
Yes, facts.
Did we do this last
Sorry.
week? I can't remember if I did this last week, but there's if I were to tell you there's 4 one-loss or undefeated teams in Texas, and none of them are the Longhorns. Houston, North Texas, Texas Tech, and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. Pretty nuts. Okay. This is the part where we reveal what we're thinking for the playoffs.
Re-rack.
Yeah, we're going to re-rack them.
Much needed re-rack.
A much needed re-rack, much needed new graphic. There's a lot of Clemson orange on all of our graphics that need to be taken off. One of our graphics ends with Clemson orange, and we don't need to.
We don't have to mention who that was.
Yeah, no. So we're gonna re-rack the balls, and we're gonna hit them again. And I guess I'll start. I'm keeping a lot of my predictions the same. I got Bama winning the SEC, beating Texas A&M. I have Indiana, OU, Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship, OSU. I have BYU, Texas Tech in the Big 12, so chalky. Texas Tech. And then I have Georgia Tech, Miami, just so chalky. Downing will love this. USF, Navy. So my big board looks like this. Ohio State, Bama, Miami, Texas A&M, Indiana, Georgia at the 6 line, who's still my national champ. Georgia Tech at the 7 line. 8 Texas Tech, 9 Ole Miss, 10 Oregon, 11 Notre Dame sneaking in there because there's going to be no other Big Ten team to take that spot. And then 12, we still got the mids. So I guess the interesting ones are the SEC. There's pretty much a 4-horse race, I'm guessing, unless somebody's got something real crazy. Then the Big 12, it's Texas Tech and who. ACC is just a wild. I hope Pitt's in it, but just a wild ride. What do you guys got?
All right. I didn't do the conference championship breakdowns, but I'm going to do Ohio State, Indiana in mine. I think Ohio State's going to win that. I got Georgia, Bama in the SEC. ACC, I guess I'm going to have Miami, Louisville. Yeah. And then we're going to Big 12. We're going to do Texas Tech. I don't even know who I'd put as the other team. So I'm just going to leave that one blank. But that doesn't matter because no two Big 12 teams are making it. Mine is going to be Ohio State at the 1 seed, Georgia at the 2 seed, Indiana at the 3 seed, Alabama at the 4 seed, Miami at the 5 seed, Ole Miss at the 6 seed, Texas Tech at the 7th seed, Louisville at the 8th seed, Notre Dame at the 9 seed, Washington at 10, Texas A&M at 11, and USF at 12 to round it out.
So where me and Arch differ is, so Arch, you have Texas A&M kind of losing 2 games to close out the year. You also have
Then they lose to Texas
you also
and
have
Missouri.
Georgia Tech falling off a cliff and Louisville taking that spot. And then you have Washington running the table and beating Oregon. So that's what you got.
Yeah.
Because we're pretty much aligned other than that.
Yeah, I have the winner of that Washington-Oregon game kind of being like a play-in for the playoff.
Yeah. Okay.
The way I see it right now.
How's that
but
Washington
could be wrong.
schedule working out for them?
Beautiful. They play
You got Oregon.
They play Oregon to end the
Yeah.
season, and that is literally it.
Yeah, we got Wisconsin,
play-
Purdue, UCLA.
That's 3 games you should win, and you should be favored by double digits at, I would assume.
All right. It's kind of looking up there.
I think
Duska?
that Michigan loss comes back to haunt them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Terrible loss.
So, original national semifinal included Clemson and Texas, and original national champion was the Clemson Tigers, who no need to even get into the Clemson Tigers. We're all very familiar with how this year has gone for them. So, time to re-rack. Updated conference champions. I had Alabama taking on Texas A&M, taking them down. The ACC championship, I had Miami. Big Ten championship, Ohio State over Indiana. The Big 12. The Big 12 is such a mess still, and it's so unclear about who's going to go to Dallas based off all the teams that are playing each other remaining in November. So I kind of just went with the team that I would like to see in the playoff, and I would like to see win the conference this year just because I think it would be fun. So I picked Cincinnati to win the Big 12. And then G5, I stuck with Navy. So my 12 teams in the playoff. At the 1 line, we have Ohio State, who I had going undefeated throughout conference play and conference championships. At number 2, I had Alabama, 3 Texas A&M, and 4 Indiana. So I had the Big Ten finalists and the SEC finalists all making up the buys. And then at 5, I had Miami, who was my ACC champ. 6, Georgia, who had 1 loss in the SEC. And then 7, Oregon. 8, I had Cincinnati, my Big 12 champ. 9, Ole Miss. 10, Georgia Tech, who was an ACC finalist for me. 11, Notre Dame, sneaking in at 10-2. And then the 12 line is going to be Navy. So I don't want to break down the entire playoff and how I had it panning out. I'll give that information to Arch. But I'll quickly go to this. The quarterfinals, I had number 5, Miami versus number 4, Indiana. Number 9, Ole Miss versus number 1, Ohio State. Number 6, Georgia versus number 3, Texas A&M. And number 7, Oregon versus number 2, Alabama. In my semifinal, I had Miami defeating Indiana to take on Ohio State, who I had defeating Ole Miss. And I had Georgia defeating Texas A&M and Oregon defeating Alabama. And in my national championship, I had Ohio State taking on Georgia, with Ohio State coming out on top and claiming back-to-back national championships.
Yeah, I'm in alignment with you, Duska, except I got Georgia. I still got my dogs. That was my preseason pick. I'm not coming off them.
And like you were saying earlier, I do think it is a huge distinct advantage for the team that is not playing in the SEC championship game, and I think Georgia's going to be able to take advantage of that. I think that was a good point.
100%. 100%. I love them at like the 6 to 8 line.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous spot to be in. because you still get that home game, which other teams
Yep.
don't get. It's like you get to play at home, which the teams on the bye don't get to do.
Also, Georgia Notre Dame rematch.
Would be sick.
Yeah, in Sanford Stadium. Like, come on. Scenes.
I just might have to be BOJ for that.
I'll see what I can do.
All right, Sam.
All right, so when I was doing this earlier, I didn't do it seeded, so I just seeded mine out. We'll start off with the number one team in the country, your Big Ten champ, Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm going to differ from you guys. Number two team in the country, your SEC champ, Texas A&M Aggies. Number three, the Indiana Hoosiers. Number four, the Alabama Crimson Tide, both of those being the runner-ups to their conference. At five, your ACC champion, Miami Hurricanes. At 6-7, Georgia Ole Miss. And then to round it out, we got Oregon at the 8, Texas Tech, your Big 12 champ, at 9, Notre Dame at 10, Georgia Tech at 11, and Memphis at 12. And then Arch, I'm going to draw out the bracket because I need to see how it's going to work out before I pick my national champ.
Yeah, I didn't draw out my bracket. So if y'all want to, like I know Luke just did, but I can't like draw that out. But I mean, as long as you give me the winner, then we'll be fine. We can make a graphic with it.
Yeah. All right. I'll send it to the editor.
Yeah, I'll send it to our editor.
Yeah, the editor,
wait,
the editor can do it.
How many of you guys had Notre Dame?
All of us.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, we all in Notre Dame.
Okay.
On the Notre Dame front, Charlie, you'll find this interesting. I was looking at just like schedule and how it's going to work out. If Pitt beats Stanford this weekend and Notre Dame beats BC, that will probably be college game day.
Pitt, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame at Pitt, because there's like no other real good games that they haven't been to yet.
That'd be sick. We'd have boots on ground. We'd have family members BOJ.
Yeah. Just a thought.
Yeah,
That'll probably happen.
That'd be sick.
It looks good.
Yeah. So from us three, we all have. Yeah. For us three, we all have Ohio State, Georgia in our championship as of now. So we got Luke with the OSU, and then me and Chuck with Georgia. So makes sense. I think there's some commentary about it. I just can't see myself picking Georgia Tech to make the playoff because I don't think that they're that I don't think they're a playoff caliber team, but their schedule is literally putrid. So they play NC State, Boston College, Pitt, and Georgia. They could very well go 1-3 in those games, and that's kind of what I think. I think they would get left out at 10-2 for Notre Dame, but that's just me.
I agree.
Because I think at 10-2, I think they're alive. I mean, they're only like a 4-point favorite versus NC State. Pitt,
yeah, I just saw
Pitt's going to be going there. Pitt might be Pitt. Pitt could be favored depending on how Pitt's or it'd be tight spread. In Georgia, I think Georgia's going to be like a 15-point spread. So I think you got 3 games you can lose, and if that, they're going to get dropped out.
I was banking on them being 11-2 with the regular season loss to Georgia and then the ACC championship loss, and I think clearly they get in if they won 11 games in the regular season.
Yeah, I think if they go 1-1 in the Pitt NC State, they'll be in Charlotte. So
how about that? That Black Friday is UGA, Georgia Tech, and then Texas A&M.
Okay, I have one thing. Whoever made the corporate ass decision to put that game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium is a joke.
Yeah, that's sad. I think it was Georgia Tech that decided.
No, it was Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Joke.
Because they're broke and they need more money.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Okay,
sad,
I wanted to kind of highlight some of the big games. So, Duska, you moved off Michigan.
Yeah, I moved off Michigan because I think this is the year they fall to the Buckeyes. I was banking on them going into that game at 10-1 and then sneaking in at 10-2.
Yeah.
But with them losing to USC and Oklahoma, having 2 losses going into that game, most likely, I think, I mean, they're not going to get in at 9-3. So, unfortunately, had to move off the Wolverines. But
that is going to be
take all the credit
game.
if I'll take all the credit if they do make it.
Yeah, because if they win, that's one of the pivotal games of the year. Sam, like you were saying, depending that Texas A&M game could be prove pivotal if Texas beats Vanderbilt this week. Um, I just wanted to kind of bring up, and we talked about this, um, the Oregon thing. Oregon plays, they're on a bye this week. Oregon plays Iowa, they're at Iowa. Then then they're home against Minnesota. Then they're home against USC, and then they're at Washington. And they could potentially be 2-2 in those games. That's all I'll say. And this is the problem with the Big Ten. This is the problem with the Big Ten is there's just going to be cannibalization throughout the way, and I think that's why they're not going to be able to get a fourth team in there because USC also has to play Iowa. So Iowa and USC play each other. So one of those 2-loss teams is going to be a 3-loss team, and then USC also has to play Oregon. So I think the SC case, I'm just not seeing it. They have to win out, and they play 2 really losable games. As much as I love the Trojans, like I said, Iowa has to play Oregon and USC. So Washington's the one that shapes up the best because they only have to play Oregon, and they get them at home in Seattle. And then Michigan has to play. I don't know who they play the rest of the way, but I do know they play obviously
Pretty light until they get to Ohio State.
Obviously, they do play Ohio State. So the 4 teams,
Purdue, Northwestern, Maryland.
yes. So the 4 teams that the Big Ten's looking at to be like, hey, is this going to be our 4th team? Are Michigan, Washington, USC, and Iowa. USC and Iowa play each other. 3 of those teams play Oregon, and then Michigan plays Ohio State. And so I just wanted to kind of walk people through that scenario because it doesn't seem like very likely that the Big Ten gets a 4th team in there.
Kind of seems like so if Oregon beats Iowa, which I would expect them to, I think we've soured on Oregon a little bit too early. But
I'm not souring on them. I don't think they're bad. I think they could do damage.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll retract that. But I think just based off everything you just laid out, the biggest and most exciting game in the last week of the regular season is going to be the Washington-Oregon game, which is awesome. And it's going to be super exciting because that's always an awesome game. So,
yeah. There's also we're very chalky, which makes sense now. But remember last year that cannibalistic Saturday before Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Also, there is a very high chance of a world that A&M is undefeated to end the regular season. Bama has 1 loss. Georgia has 1 loss. Ole Miss has 1 loss, which then would leave. That's 5 SEC teams, which would then leave a 10-2, potentially a 10-2 Vandy, or a 10-2 Notre Dame.
And I think the SEC team should get in, be over at Notre Dame,
or an 11-2 Georgia Tech. This could be very chaotic if college football stays top heavy.
So you're saying there could be a scenario where it's like an 11 seed Georgia Tech, Notre Dame. The 11 seed is like Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Vandy / maybe an Ole Miss if they lose another game, and you're
or
just
a 1-loss BYU,
and you're just comparing resumes at that point. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that 11 spot's going to be just a bloodbath.
I like that we're doing this right before November too, because
this is kind of
that's when all hell breaks loose.
And also, what's great is the college football playoff rankings come out next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
We will see where everybody sits because the
AP
we can do a
live reaction to that if we do a Tuesday pod.
Yeah.
True.
That'll be fun.
True.
I actually have to do a Tuesday pod because I have dinner with your dad on Monday. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, come on now. He told me that. He was like, dude, I'm going to Austin. I'm trying to see what Sam's up to. Where are you guys going,
No, I didn't. I'm gonna post something today or tomorrow.
Shit. Oh wow. That's official.
Well, you just never know because it's a very people go on a lot of dates and stuff, so you have to just it's easy to just book a quick reservation.
Nice.
No matter where it is.
I'm sure my dad will be talking about the pod. So be ready for that.
I'm gonna do a little comment on my predictions. Because I guess we could all look at where we went wrong, I guess. I'm pretty happy that I had Indiana in preseason because I mean I think we'd all in agreement. I thought they were going to be better, but it was like how like their schedule shaped up, and it turned out to be pretty favorable. Miami was another good one. Utah was horrible. Penn State was horrible.
Dude, my
But
bracket's shambles. Oh my gosh. I'd South
yeah,
Carolina,
I'm
Texas,
yeah, that's
Penn State, and
cool.
Utah.
Somebody had LSU
And
in there. Oh, Sam
Clemson.
did.
And Clemson, dude. I have Clemson, Utah, Penn State, Texas,
Yeah.
South Carolina. South Carolina, I just drank the Kool-Aid because I wanted to. So I don't even put that much.
Yeah, I'm looking at all four graphics like on my second monitor right here, and it's like, good God, like, oh, that's just funny because that's like what college football.
Well, dude, I was
Like,
reading there's a book I'm reading, and it's called like How Not to Invest. It's actually by Barry Ritholtz Wealth Management, the guy who
Yep.
who owns, Josh Compound
Josh
Friends. Yeah.
downtown Josh Brown's
Josh
boss.
Brown.
Yeah. His
So
boss.
so I'm reading that book right now, and it starts by saying like nobody can predict the future, and here's examples of like whether it's like media talent or like music producers like not saying the Beatles would suck and like we should never put that in America, and meanwhile they become the biggest band ever, or like the Princess Bride, um every single like big shot Hollywood movie production like didn't like said no to the Princess Bride, turned out to be one of the most successful movies ever made. Like basically the thesis of the first chapter of the book is like nobody can predict anything, nobody can knows the future, and like this is a great example. Like guys, we love college football, and like it doesn't matter. We can do as
Charlie,
much.
you love that movie.
The Princess Bride?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, one of my favorites ever. That's but I'm saying every single Hollywood producer, like big time, they all said no to it. And like they were like, no, we're not doing that movie. That's a stupid ass idea. And it turned out to be the biggest movie ever at the time. So all that just goes to show we're human. We can't predict the future. That's why I love college football, because I love covering what happened, and it's really just hard to predict what doesn't. It's fun to predict what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, like we have no idea, like literally no idea. So that's why I lose to my sisters in March Madness every year. They pick based on colors and TikTok, and I pick based on what I think is going to happen, and they beat me. So just wanted to
Good
throw
point.
that out there.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Volatile.
That's what makes it beautiful, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes this sport beautiful. Like Gus was saying last week, like college football's in a very interesting spot. It's compelling. And the NFL is not there right now, in my opinion. But
dude, I didn't even watch.
It's going to be a brutal shift when college football's over and we
have to cover
if the NFL gets worse,
some NFL content.
If the NFL gets worse, I'm not recording NFL pods. Y'all can do all three of y'all because I would just like boo the entire. Dude, the product
College
is
hoops. College hoops is back on
dude,
Sunday
can't
or Monday.
wait for college hoops. And dude, Sam, the NHL pods are gonna come. I promise you that.
Yeah.
If the Pens
Dude, I
stay
hope
good.
we stay good.
Yes, if the Pens stay good. I've never been so locked into seasons. I've watched parts of like 7 of 9 Pens games this year. I'm dialed.
I need to figure out my new NHL team.
You're a Flyers fan, aren't you? We got young talent.
See, my dad was a Flyers fan whenever he was a kid. Remember, I have all that merch and stuff.
They've been so bad for so long too. Like
your dad is a sick Eric Lindros jersey.
You can hop on the wagon now, and
the Stars are fun wagoners.
Is that the Flyers guy?
Yeah, it's the Flyers guy.
Yeah,
number 88.
And he has the Stars. He has a lot of stuff.
He's got the Mike Modano North Stars jersey.
Yeah. Bart's is an original hockey guy.
Yeah.
For only everyone from Athens, Georgia, to ever be an original hockey guy.
True. Should have got you on skates, dude.
That would have been a sight to see.
Jessica, can you skate?
I've skated twice. Bad results, but I believe I was a little less coordinated then.
Yeah.
So I'd like to give it another shot.
Yeah, 100%. Sam, let's take him down to let's take the pod down to PPG, the outdoor skating rink.
Dude, they have a rink in
that's what we should. I wish that we still had the Perry ODR.
Dude, the Perry ODR was a sight to behold. Anytime school was off and We just got to play hockey all day in the Perry's ODR.
Remember the like polar vortex, and we literally we built a fire.
Yeah, we played puck all day. Wonderful.
My dad, Joey, and I would go out and that rink was the biggest pain in the ass to
That
build. But
was
it
such a
was
pain
so
in the ass. And then like
it
one of
was
the
so worth
corners
it.
would always be like fucked up.
Yeah, the back corner because the yard was like very slightly sloped and it
Yeah.
froze to
What were you saying, Dustin? Sorry.
I was saying we just have a nice like river rink in the city.
Yeah.
I've been there. That's where I've skated the couple times I have.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Dan Philly.
Yeah.
All right.
Downtown.
All right. Dan.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll make it up to the Keystone State for an in-person pod in the over Christmas break.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
How would we do that? I don't even know how you set up an in-person pod, but
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
maybe we all do the Zoom except like we're just in like a room together.
We'll just hire some consultants.
Yeah.
Well, we can get our videographer to handle that.
True.
Yeah.
You're right.
All we
We'll
need
get
is
our
a
interns
camera.
on that.
Camera linked up to a Zoom, and we're golden. Or stream, golden.
Dude, do we want to just like quickly before we get out of here, just hit a couple of the games that are the football games?
Yeah, because I have a really
cool.
cool fun fact.
Okay,
about
give it
one
to
of
us,
the
Sam.
games.
Give it to us.
All right, so
you start.
arguably the biggest game on Saturday is Tennessee, Oklahoma. Big SEC, basically an eliminator game for the playoff. For those on the pod that don't know, Tennessee does an annual dark mode game. They wear all black, pretty snazzy uniforms, typically at night. For those who do not know, the uniform was first worn, their black uniforms, in 2008 when Lane Kiffin was the head coach at Tennessee for one season. Tennessee was playing South Carolina under Steve Spurrier, and they came out in warm-ups in all orange and then went back into the tunnel before they ran out and came out with a fresh new black uniform the time they debuted it. So that's my fun fact about the game.
Very
A
nice,
really
Sam.
fun fact. Yeah.
Great game.
Oh yeah. I thought you were about to reference it to the Rattler masterclass that when they played them.
Tennessee Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I got something for the pod. So Army plays Air Force this week. And I'll be cheering for Air Force because if Air Force wins, then Navy will, since they already beat Air Force, they will retain the Commander-in-Chief trophy even if they lose to Army. So fun
Air
fact.
Force is favored.
Air Force is favored by 1.5 in Colorado. So
Insane.
yeah. Other games we want to preview.
We talked about
Clemson
Texas
will be
Vandy earlier.
interesting.
Duke Clemson will be interesting.
Two kind of disappointments, I guess. I mean, Duke hasn't really been that disappointing, but they definitely should have won more than they have. SMU Miami, if you care to watch SMU be horrible on offense again, would be cool. Penn
Those could
State,
be a
Ohio State is
cannibalistic-
this day.
Yeah.
And nobody cares
It's a 21-point spread.
because they suck. But yeah,
Super dog.
This could be like a crazy Saturday for the ACC.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech goes to NC State. They're only 5-point dogs. Louisville goes to Virginia Tech. Super dog. And Virginia has to go to Cal. So 3 of the ACC's big guns have to go on the road, while Pitt gets to sit with their feet up and watch and prepare for. Or no, they play Stanford actually.
What did Pitt do
Before
on
they're-
Saturday?
They beat the
Smack
brakes off of
State.
NC State. Put 50
That's
up.
right. Yeah.
Oklahoma,
I had my
Tennessee is
super
this
dog.
week. Oklahoma, Tennessee. Anybody interested in that game?
Yeah. I just found my super dog. Sorry, fellas.
What is it?
We're taking Stanford plus 14.5.
Ooh, I like
Going up
that.
against Pitt.
Should we do the super dog real quick?
If you have yours, sure. I'll find
Yeah,
mine.
I'll take Virginia Tech at Louisville. Sorry, or against Louisville. Sorry, guys.
I do like that one.
We said it after week 1. They're gonna get someone, and this is when they get someone. At 3:30, live on the CW. Go get them.
What is it? What line is that? 10.5?
Yeah.
Dude, give me Rich Rod 13.5. They're giving Rich Rod 13.5 against the Cougars. Give me him.
They played really good last week. They played good enough to beat TCU.
Yeah. So
TCU looked
give me Rich Rod.
I've discovered there's no science to finding a super dog.
Literally, there's nothing.
So with that being said, I'm shipping up to Boston this weekend.
Yeah.
And potential if the prices drop a little bit, could be boots on ground for Notre Dame, BC. And the Boston College Eagles are 28.5-point dogs at home against Notre Dame. But if I'm going to be there in person to watch, it'll be fun to cheer on my super dog at home. Probably going to be a Notre Dame crowd in that stadium.
Yeah. Tickets are $160.
Yeah, almost undoubtedly. So I'll take the Boston College Eagles to cover against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
They got to lose by
pick.
4 touchdowns. That's it.
Yeah.
And we have to factor
how many Notre Dame alumni live in Boston.
Yeah, 100%. It's also the Irish Catholic capital of the Western Hemisphere. So
yes.
Also have to figure that Notre Dame loses to a G5 team every year. They haven't yet this year. Boston College is essentially a G5 school, so
it's been an all-time outright victory. Let me just say,
maybe lull them to sleep.
I'm hoping the tickets drop to like the 120, 125.
I wouldn't pay more than $5 to watch Boston College play football this year.
Yeah, well, I think it'll just be fun to.
Yeah.
You're watching the other team play college.
The opportunity's there. I might as well take it.
Yeah,
Hey,
no doubt.
We got Cincinnati, Utah. They're Utah's 8.5-point favorites, so Cincinnati's not getting a lot of respect. They are ranked 17.
8.5?
Yeah, 8.5.
Oh yeah, I wrote something down about that game actually. It's absolutely fraudulent that Utah is ranked, in my opinion.
They did it solely for college game.
Exactly. It was that's exactly what I wrote down. Utah ranked just to attract more game day viewers. On principle alone, I hope Cincinnati beats the brakes off them.
I don't understand how Utah is ranked in Washington isn't. I don't understand how Washington's not ranked.
Yep.
Okay. I'm switching my super dog to Cincinnati. Sorry. Have to.
Cincinnati plus 8.5.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's lead.
If the line moves to Cincinnati, give me Boston College. But
I think that thing is only going to go up, to be honest.
This was another
out of principle, Dusky. I love that.
Yes, thank you.
Fail by College Game Day to go to why did they should 100% have gone to North Texas.
Oh, North Texas Navy? That'd be sick.
That would have been such it's so much better when they go.
Nah, dude, they're gonna wait. They're gonna wait to see if it gets a little more juice because they will 100% go to Navy South Florida if it's too
and they want to go to Annapolis too. They would like to go to Annapolis.
They would love to do Annapolis.
Over Denton,
who doesn't?
Yeah,
who doesn't want to go to Annapolis?
Who doesn't want to go to Annapolis? The fellas had a great time there. Sadly, this year I don't know what we're looking at.
Not looking good, unfortunately.
Yeah, IUP might still be playing football.
Yeah,
you guys would have a game.
I can't attend
mid-December.
Anyway.
Yeah, if we make the quarterfinals of the D2, we will be playing football.
How many is it? 24 like FCS?
Don't even know. I think so.
D2 is 24.
Yeah. Thanks, Arch.
Yeah, Charlie, because your guys' last game is the week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the PSAC championship.
The playoffs start the next week?
Yeah.
Well, no, isn't your conference championship the weekend of Thanksgiving?
No, that's the November 15th week.
You guys have a conference championship game?
Yeah. East versus West, dude. Yeah, sick.
Oh, that's kind of sick.
Yeah, so if we take care of business, we'll win the West and then play Kutztown out east in Kutztown.
Wait, Charlie, when would
you play 2 weeks in a row?
No. That game, so the PSEC schedules a game on the 15th because if we didn't make the PSEC championship, the team who did make the PSEC championship out of the West, we would play whoever they were supposed to play. So
I see.
You know what I'm saying? So we would play another conference game just for the fun of it, but it wouldn't be the conference championship. So
it's November 15th regardless. Damn, that sucks because we just found out we get that entire week before Thanksgiving work from home. So I'm coming back like early for Thanksgiving.
Well, dude, I'll be in Thanksgiving, but I'll be in Indiana. So I'll
I know I'm
probably
saying that if the game was the weekend before Thanksgiving, the conference title game, I could have been able to sneak out there.
I don't know if you want to drive 4 hours to Philly.
I was in Philly.
It's in Kutztown.
It sounds it's not far.
The conference
That
title
game
game's
is
in
Chuck. That game
Kutztown.
is Saturday, November 15th. Your Kutztown game.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the conference championship week.
If we make it, yeah.
Okay.
If we beat
I see.
Gannon and Clarion, yes.
If you
Then Kutztown will
guys
be your championship.
What up?
So you're saying the? Never mind.
Yeah, if we play Kutztown, it'll be for the championship.
God forbid you lose
Gotcha.
that game.
We'll
You
still
guys
make
still
the
make the
playoff.
playoffs?
We'll still be top 7 in the region,
Gotcha.
but then we won't get a bye. But like whatever.
I'm
Who
looking
knows?
at the D2 schedule right now.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Who are the wagons in the what's it called? The SAC? What's
What
the
is
one
that?
conference with the North Carolina teams?
The
Isn't it the
SAC.
SAC?
Yeah, the SAC has
Can't be live.
Catawba. Lenore Ryan's pretty good, I believe, still. Speaking of Lenore Ryan, the Steelers traded for one of their legends, Kyle Duggar today.
Duggar, yeah.
What conference is
Yeah,
Ferris
I
in?
think the Pats are trying
Who?
to pounce.
Who,
Ferris
Jessica?
State.
Ferris
Ferris-
State's in like the
They're in like Michigan.
Mid-America, the MEC.
No, NEC's D1.
No, M.
MEC.
Oh, MEC. Sorry.
All I know is Harding in Arkansas with Cole Keelan, always a wagon.
Yeah. School of Mines or whatever it's called.
Colorado School of
Colorado,
Mines,
yeah.
always,
Isn't that
West
where
Florida, weren't they good at some point?
always. Yeah, West Florida's solid.
doesn't that School of Mine school where Caper's brother goes?
Yeah, his
Plays
brother's
lacrosse
playing
somewhere?
lacrosse there. Yeah, pretty cool. They're a really good lacrosse D2 lacrosse team.
Ferris State.
I didn't even know they had D2 cross. That's cool.
Yeah, dude, D2 lacrosse is sick. They have my cousin plays in Maryville, who they were in I think the quarterfinals or the semifinals.
Was that the cousin that was
Yeah.
at he was at your apartment last year?
Yes, yeah, Ben Bowser. Yes, sir. Kid was chilling.
That's a kid's a
Yeah,
character.
they Maryville played my buddy's
was.
friends in the D2 playoffs, and
Yeah,
when
Maryville
smoked
shit on him.
Yeah,
Maryville's
smoked
nice.
Anderson. Ferris State is in the GLIAC, Great Lakes Intercollegiate
GLIAC.
Athletic Conference.
Oh, the GLIAC.
Ferris State's a
Fraudulent
wagon in
conference.
hockey.
Yeah, in hockey, yeah, they're D1 in hockey and they're nasty.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Wayne State, Saginaw Valley, Grand Valley State, Michigan Tech, Northern Michigan, Roosevelt, Davenport.
Michigan Tech also a wagon in D1 hockey.
You know who plays at Saginaw Valley?
Who?
Who?
Bombay.
Kibombe?
Yeah.
Who?
He was Elon football player last year.
Kibombe.
Jesus
Nathan
Christ.
Kibombe.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good God.
We'll
He's
leave it
like-
at that. We'll leave
he's
it
like
at that.
100 years
We'll
old.
leave it
We
at
have to
that.
leave it at that.
right.
We'll leave that in.
Yeah, we will. Dude, Florida, Georgia. It's only a 7.5 point spread. You nervous at all, Arch, or no?
No, Nez is going to be there, so it's going to be an automatic win for the Dogs.
Yeah.
Is he taking a client out
Yeah.
from Rose Paving?
Yeah. No, we're going to slaughter them like we always do. Last year was an anomaly. Also, I don't know if anybody saw Gunnar Stockton on the bye week last week. They went and they caught alligators, and there's a picture of him holding an alligator over his shoulders, and he tied it up on its mouth. So that's all I need to see. We're going to smoke them.
I love it. I love
I
it.
still want to see that transcript.
Probably not much different than yours.
It's true. That's real.
Yeah, real.
Free management,
Great major.
the best.
That's how you do it. Fellas, you guys got anything else to talk about before we get out of here?
This is a good pod. This is an efficient pod.
Yeah, super
Yeah,
efficient.
that was
bro.
really efficient. That was good.
Loved it. Loved it.
Actually, I had one
Um,
bone to pick.
Pick
I
it.
mentioned silly Bill Simmons takes on Patrick Mahomes a couple weeks ago, and I mean, The proof's in the pudding, and I just think I was very, very impassioned about people writing him off this early in the NFL season because they play a million games. Just wanted to get on my soapbox and let that out for a second.
Yeah.
Sure.
Dude.
I was gonna say whenever we just this about the pod. Whenever we decide what games we want to pick them, we'll let us know and then we can put them on the thing.
Bet.
Not
Sounds
many
like
close
fun.
spreads this week though.
Yeah, definitely like Vandy, Texas.
I'm gonna pick against Vandy again and I'm gonna lose.
I might, dude. I've picked Vandy two weeks in a row. I think I'm not sticking with him. I think I'm gonna take Texas. But
I put my life on this game 2 weeks ago.
you did put your life on this game.
So they have to win.
Yeah.
They have to win, or I'm not on the pod on Monday, Tuesday.
Virginia Cal was interesting. If anyone,
Yeah. Like I said, that freshman quarterback.
just
Dude,
looking at close spreads.
What if Dante Moore leaves to the draft and then they get him back?
That would be the greatest representation of what college football is.
Yeah, that really would be. Get starts at a different school, knowing like, all right, well,
It's just like double A ball. Like they're like that's like
yeah,
the
literally.
AAA. That's
It's like,
Cal's a AAA affiliate of
yeah,
Oregon.
go down to Cal, and we'll bring you back next year after you get starts under your belt.
Yeah.
Shambles. It's a AAA affiliate. I love that.
Oklahoma, Tennessee. I feel we should put that on there.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
Vandy, Texas.
I've had Vandy, Texas, Virginia, Cal, Oklahoma, Tennessee.
Kenny Matalolo is playing.
You guys
in
want to do
Hawaii this
Army
week.
Air Force?
Yes.
Army Air Force.
Yes. I love it. Is that like an FCS game?
I was gonna look at the FCS slate.
We messed up not doing the
I know. I was about to text that, but I didn't want to like annoy our editor because I thought of it on like Thursday.
What? Oh, South
That
Dakota
we should
State.
have put, yeah, but I didn't want our editor to be mad, so I didn't say anything.
Nothing's jumping on
Well,
the page.
the editor would slack off this week and forgot to post them until about 12:45.
So electric kick.
But, yeah, no, it was
Please,
horrible.
we-
Nobody noticed though.
Yeah, good
We
thing.
need one more. We could do Virginia Cal.
No, we're doing.
I have Army, Air Force, Vandy, Texas, Virginia, Cal, Oklahoma, Tennessee.
Love it. Love it.
Perfect.
Let's do
Good,
it.
that works. There's
Elon
nothing.
versus
The
the bye
FCS,
week.
FCS,
Just leave it blank.
no comment. FCS slate not looking great. So,
Okay.
Nothing that's worthy of jumping any of those games.
2-2 baseball series. Who do you guys got the rest of the way?
Hope the Dodgers lose.
I think the Dodgers could win. I hope the Dodgers win just because the Phillies lost them.
The Dodgers winning would actually help us, Charlie.
Why?
I would cause the lockout. And then they would have to
The
implement.
cap.
Yeah. Just because like how they have deferred everything basically.
So
So there'd
you're rooting for anarchy.
Wait, can you explain?
So like essentially if the Dodgers were to, like so the baseball CBA or how like that, whatever that is, I don't even know if it's called CBA, that expires after next season. So it's kind of a known thing right now that if the Dodgers win another World Series, like say, even if they don't win next year, they win 2 out of 3 World Series, that there's a high likelihood of the MLB owners forcing a lockout and basically saying it's not fair that the Dodgers can just, since they have infinite money, pay infinite amount of people. But the way that their roster is built, like I'm pretty sure they're only paying Shohei like $1 million or $2 a year because that his entire salary is
deferred.
deferred. And I'm pretty sure what's the other Japanese pitcher's name?
Yamamoto.
Yamamoto. I'm pretty sure his is deferred as well. So they're not paying the money right now. And they think that enough owners, I mean, this has happened before, and it's happened in every other major sport, that they won't be able to come to an agreement. So what the big owners will basically say is, well, it's not my fault that the Pirates and the Rays aren't spending money. And the Pirates and the Rays are going to say, well, it's not my fault that we don't have the money to spend $300 million free agency. what they'll come to is what I would think would happen would be the salary floor of like $110 million, and then soft cap, like kind of what the NBA has, say it's like 280 or 300, to where then they'd have to pay a luxury tax on how much they go over.
I hate the second apron though.
I think the MLB owners are cowards.
Stop that. I was expecting like more.
Well, I just like, oh, I don't know about the Pirates situation exactly,
Coward. Cowardice lives there.
but from what I've seen, a lot of the owners in baseball that don't spend a lot of money, and I'm saying this from a privileged position because the Phillies do spend a lot and they have invested a lot into getting good players on the team, and they've been successful over the last 5-ish years. Not even like, yeah, 4 or 5 years. A lot of the teams that don't spend a lot of money, they are trying to turn a profit with their baseball team as opposed to be competitive. And it's not the Dodgers owners' fault that
They want to win.
No, I
they want to
totally
put out
agree.
a good product. And it makes baseball better, the fact that the Dodgers have such a distinct advantage in players. And the thing about baseball is like it doesn't matter that the Dodgers team's so stacked because they can still lose to teams. It's like it frustrates me because the answer is not a salary cap. It's the salary floor is
Salary
actually a great
floor.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. The salary cap to me is ridiculous because I mean it's just if you're not willing to spend to compete, then like you shouldn't be an owner in professional sports anyway. And that it frustrates me that like the Pirates owner can get away with not spending a lot on payroll and trying to turn a profit from the revenues they get from ticket sales, whatever,
Great cash
TV,
flows.
TV
Pirates got
deals.
great cash
Exactly.
flows.
Yeah. It frustrates me that the priority is that as opposed to putting a competitive product on the field. And
Yeah.
I think that if anyone should be held accountable, it's not the owners that decide to invest a lot to be competitive. It's the owners that don't invest a lot to be competitive and are just trying to turn a profit. Because those are the
fully
guys that
agree.
ultimately they're affecting baseball more negatively than the Dodgers owner is. The
100%
Dodgers are
agree.
so entertaining to watch. I don't care what anyone says. Like they're super good. If you watch them to root against them, like have at it because there's valid reasons for that. But like you can't deny that watching Shohei Ohtani get on base 9 times yesterday, like that's fun to watch.
Oh, the
I don't
Freddie
know.
Freeman
I also
bomb in
think
the
that
18th.
like
Yeah.
in the other turn, Duska, too, like if you're the Pirates, you would probably make more if you invested more.
Yes, exactly.
Like the
The
PNC
tickets.
Park would be sold out every single night in August and September if the Pirates were first in the division, like it was in
It's
2013.
such a good fan base. You get out what
You
you put
also
in.
you have arguably the most marketable American baseball player in the entire league and his girlfriend, and you don't market it. I wonder if the MLB is going to try to push nutting out.
Because they're losing money on skeins, you're saying.
Are you cutting this?
No.
Okay, then
Oh yeah, you have inside information. I understand.
Okay, let's end the
We
pod.
can't we can't
I
leak
want
the
to hear the
source.
inside
Yeah, we can't
information.
leak the sources. All right, listen, guys, we're gonna end the pod and thank you so much for tuning into the Forward Pass podcast. We got a little baseball at the end, and dude, have a wonderful weekend. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.